Hey everybody, welcome back to some more, or to another stream, which is kind of gonna be Final Fantasy related, and at the same time not really. It's not too much me playing, more just me watching, because this morning at around, I think it was like 3 o'clock my time, the Fanfest keynote basically happened. For those that don't know, Fanfest is basically a giant convention thing, or a big convention, that Square Enix, specifically the Final Fantasy XIV team has. I don't actually know how often it is. I think it's maybe whenever they are like leading up to a release of an expansion or something. They basically do it to sort of, I guess, make a event of sorts where people can come and hang out and so on from other fans of the game, and then they also just announce things. This time around they've had 3 of them. I don't know really how many they usually have. I think they usually have 2. Maybe there's 3 normally. I don't know. They had one back at the start of, or back during summer-ish, which was in, I think it was maybe in Las Vegas, where they basically announced Dawn Trail, the next expansion, and yeah. Then they had one during October, and then they had one, or they currently have one going on, and yeah. I've basically been watching all 3 of them on stream. I think at least I watched all of them on stream. Not necessarily live, because usually they would end up happening at a somewhat odd time for me, because I honestly didn't want to stay up until like 2 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, then sit for like 2 hours watching a stream. So I wouldn't get to bed until like 5 in the morning, because that would just fuck up my sleep schedule really badly, so didn't want to do that. So yeah, we're gonna watch it now, and while we're doing that, I'm gonna just be fishing, because I can't quite see it here because I have something open, but there we go. I crafted all the Skysteel tools yesterday, all the crafted ones. And what I'm going to be doing while we basically watch, because I can kind of do that in the background, I'm just going to be fishing for some of the materials that I need for the fishing pole or fishing rod, so might as well just do that. So yeah, and then while I'm basically doing that, I'm going to have specifically most of the sounds in the game turned off, mainly for me. And then I'm also going to be muting the game in OBS so that you guys don't hear it, because otherwise you would hear basically every single time I basically start fishing and every single time I catch something and so on, which I feel like would be a bit distracting. For me, it wouldn't be as distracting though. And then while that's going on, I'm going to have the game up here. And if I quickly just these 2, then we have the stream here instead, because I thought that would maybe be more interesting, but I don't know. But yeah, I should note that I have already been spoiled on 2 things because of some absolutely galaxy brain moves on my part. Basically, I've been spoiled on the new class, what it's basically called. I don't know anything other than what it's called. And I know one thing that's being introduced into the game that I think we kind of had a feeling maybe would be introduced, but we weren't entirely sure. And the reason why I basically spoiled myself on that is due to an absolutely galaxy brain move on my part. When I woke up, I basically watched a little bit of YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, I should maybe also check what these new YouTube videos that I have on my subscription page is. And kind of forgot the fact that, oh yeah, there's just been a Fanfest a few hours ago. And I'm subscribed to several people that actually make videos about Final Fantasy, primarily. The first thing that popped up in my subscription feed was basically just, oh yeah, this is the new job, like, fuck. Scrolled down a little bit, saw the other thing, like, god damn it. Shit. I'd even been made sure to, like, mute all the Discord stuff that I could mute from my FC that would basically, like, all the channels that would basically be relating to the event or to the FanFest stuff. And yeah, I'm just a dumbass. Yeah. I also made sure to actually include the Twitch alerts thing so that yeah, the alerts from, what do you call it, Twitch, like hydrate redeems and so on should show up on screen now, hopefully. If I did it correctly, it should hopefully work, but can't be 100% sure. I did test the alert thing, but I don't know if it actually is gonna react or not. But yeah, let's just mute the Final Fantasy music this part, and I think I accidentally enabled background music again because I think I clicked on one of my macros on the side. But yeah, let's just get started. I'm not entirely sure if the audio is maybe a little bit too loud. I should maybe lower it just a... Let's keep it at 40% for now. I'm guessing we're gonna have the full cinematic as the first thing. Yeah, I definitely want the audio higher. Also, welcome to the stream, Crummy Duribon. Just increase the audio there a bit. Is that better? Let's go with 70. Okay, the audio or the music is definitely more developed now.
Ah, blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
Okay, so far it seems more or less the same as previous ones. Only difference really being just music.
Come now. There's no cause for panic.
So I think I just realized something. I made the thing a bit bigger, so now it basically just... That's one problem with how I basically am showing it on my end. I basically have it opened in picture-in-picture thing. So if I basically change the size of it in on my screen, it basically also changes the size over in OBS. Let me just get into the size that I like and then scale it down there. There we go. That's better.
This one might make for a worthy opponent.
basically still the same as with the other one, like the second version of the trailer. Just music different. Guess maybe sound effects. That's new, I think. Yeah, that's definitely new. The music. That's slightly new.
Might you have a moment to speak further?
Seems more like. Oh. There's definitely more clips. And the female voice now in the song. I think that's fight stuff was also part of the previous one. That's a new clip. Kind of. Oh. Ah, Kryl. So yeah, apparently, from what I understand, the new class is Pictomancer, which was one that people was actually thinking was gonna be, or hoping it was gonna be, apparently. What's this stuff we're seeing now? Oh.
There. Look, my friends.
There's Alphino.
Hold the scene of our next great adventure.
You and your adventures. I trust you have not forgotten the true purpose of our voyage.
At last we are come to the land.
And there's the other thing that got spoiled on, Femro.
My home. Tural.
Or not Femro, Femrothgard. Those basically things that I would have seen in trailers, but would have been more hype about it if I actually seen it during the trailer, I think. Yeah, it was maybe just more clips, I would say. A little bit of like the, hey, here's Femrothgar and Pignomancer. I believe it's also supposed to be translated, this whole panel. Could be wrong. There's Yoshi P. So we kind of got pretty far, it looks like.
信の皆さんもおはようございます。皆さんようこそお越しくださいました。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。よろしくお願いします。もうサイリウムの数がすごくてちょっと動揺しておりますありがとうございます。Hi guys, thank you for coming today. My name is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. さあ、新生14 10周年グローバルファンフェスツアーのトリとなる日本のファンフェスティバル、いよいよ開幕です。ただですね、新年1月1日、能登半島の方で非常に大きな地震があって、
to his left, or to his right, but on the left side, before is probably going to be where one of the like there's a translator, I'm guessing.
1年ね幕開けとなった日本なんですが、僕らやっぱりゲーム開発者にとって、特にファイナルファンタジー14にとっては、被災された光の戦士の皆さんがですね、日常を取り戻した時に、お帰りなさいと、楽しい世界がしっかり作られて維持されていくことが我々の一番やらなければいけない仕事かなと思っておりますので、全力でそれを取り組んでいこうと思います。X でもちょっと拝見したんですけど、やっぱりいらっしゃれない、この会場に来る予定だったのがいらっしゃれなかった光の選手の方のコメントも拝見しました。ただそこに書かれてたのは、せっかくの機会なので自分が行けなかった分まで、皆さんに楽しんでほしいというふうにコメントを拝見しましたので、この会場に、いらっしゃる皆さん、そして配信ご覧の皆さん、僕らも含めてですが、とにかく楽しく目いっぱいやって、皆さんに力を届けられればなと思ってますので、どうぞ楽しんでいきましょ
う。I have no idea what he just said. I don't understand the Japanese part.
じゃあちょっとコメントもですね、今日ちゃんと返しをもらっているので、こちらにニコニコ動画がございます。ありがとうございます。楽しむのが仕事だって、イエーイ吉田見てるって、これ必ずあります。
Like I heard that there was going to be like
見てますよ、見てます。
translations.
はい、こちらは、YouTube と、Twitch です。新ヘアスタイルってそれか、それ吉田の新ヘアスタイルなだけなのよろしくお願いします。ファイナルファンタジー14新生10周年ということもありますし、世界中の光の戦士の皆さんのおかげ、それに支えられてですね、まさかのこの東京ドームでの、開催となりました。そのお礼の意味も込めてですね、すいません、世界中の、光の戦士の皆さん、基調講演、7.0 の情報楽しみにしていると思いますので、ここだけはすいません、英語同時通訳、通訳対応でやらせていただければと思います。全世界で盛り上がっていきたいと思いますので、日本のプレイヤーの皆さんもご理解いただけると大変助かります。
Still have no idea what he's been saying.
というわけで、基調講演の通訳パートナーはリード英語翻訳者のケイトさんです。さあケイトさん入ってきてください。
どうぞよろしくお願いします。
I think she's the one that translates.
Hello to everyone on stream. I am Kate, the lead English translator, and I am once again here to tell you what Yoshi P says.
さすが英語お上手。
I am very good at English. Thank you. ありがとうございます。
ロンドンのファンフェスの時にはケイトさんね、ちょっといろいろ作業がね忙しくて工事にバトンタッチだったんですけど、どうですか？ 7.0 の翻訳作業順調ですか？
順調です。
お、即答で順調。
I was unable to attend the London Fanfest because I was very busy working on 7.0, so Koji thankfully took over, but it is going well, our development progress, and I am making sure to fuel my motivation with a lot of tacos. So, tacos を食べることでモチベーションをバフしながら頑張ってます。
そんなにタコスね上がるんだね。
まあそうで、まあグラハティア見ればタコス食べたくなりますよ。
あ、なるほど。
If you see Graha, you want to eat the tacos. It's not weird. It's not weird.
さてさて、改めまして、ファンフェスティバル in 東京ドーム、夢のようなファンフェス、ワクワクをお届けする2日間。
They're basically just
そ
doing
の
the
ワクワ
entire
クは僕
like
の基調講演からスター
production
トし
sort
ま
of
す。
thing, I guess.
その内容はもちろんこちらになります。
So once again, welcome to Fanfest in Tokyo. This is a dreamlike Fanfest being held in Tokyo Dome. And we want to kick it off with my keynote, the subject of which is, of course,
拡張パッケージ黄金のレガシーの最新情報をお届けしてまいります。
the newest information on our expansion Dawn Trail.
そして気になる発売日なんですが、
There's a lot of echo in
3
that
つ目のファンフェスだから発売日出るんだろうなと思っていると思うんですが、すいません、計画上の日程はもちろん決まってはいるんですが、現状ギリギリまでちょっとすいません、スケジュールの最終調整確認をしております。
So given that this is the third FanFest, you're probably expecting us to announce the release date of Dawn Trail. Unfortunately, though we do have an internal date that we are targeting, we are adjusting the schedule, making sure it's fine-tuned as much as it possibly can be before announcing, so we will not be sharing that today.
なんで慎重かと
They're
いうと
probably
ですね、
trying to
皆
avoid
さんよく
the same
ご存知
thing
か
that
と思い
happened
ま
with
す
the
が、
Walker, where they were
行
like,
列の
oh
フィ
yeah,
ナーレ
November.
でですね、
And
私
then it ended
電
up
気
in
業界
like
人と
early
して人
December.
生初めての延期をさせていただくということをしてしまいましたので、ちょっと今回はまあたとえ数週間だろうが、そういったことがないようにギリギリまで、しっかりした日程調整するためにあとほんの少しお時間いただければと思います。
If you're wondering why, well, it's because, as you know, for Endwalker, for the very first time in my career, we had to delay the release. We don't want that to happen again, even if it's just a few weeks. So we are taking great care to make sure that our schedule is on track before announcing, but we will get you that info as soon as we can.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that was
もうコ
probably
メン
the
トでです
case.
ね、10月か夏じゃないよなっていうコメント溢れてるんですけど、大丈夫です。夏って言ったら夏です。
People are saying, you mean October then? It's not going to be summer? It's going to be October, isn't it? No, no, it will be summer.
ちょっとファイナルファンタジー16だってサマーって言って6月に出てるんですよ。
We said in 16 we were going to release it in summer, and it came out in June.
スクエニ時間じゃなく、14時間の夏でちゃんと出すようにします。
We will not be releasing on Square Enix time. We will be releasing on 14 time, which means properly in summer.
はい、できるだけですね、早く発売日の情報をお出しできるように、頑張りますので、ちょっと別の次の機会で、させていただければと思います。すいません、よろしくお願いします。
So we will work very hard to get you that info as soon as possible, and we'll have it for you next time. So thank you for your patience.
さあでは本格的に黄金のレガシーの中身についてお話ししていこうと思いますが、もちろん皆さんが一番気になっているのは
Of course, let's talk about the content of Dawn Trail and the thing you're most looking forward to.
新たなジョブの追加ですよね。
A new job.
さあ気づきました？どんなジョブでした？
Did you figure out what job it is?
リルムって言われた。ジョブ名じゃない。
That's not even a job name.
さあ僕があれこれ説明する前にですね、動画で一番最初その動きをご覧いただこうと思います。
But before you hear from me, let's see it on video.
それではどうぞ。
Right to answer. It was basically what was shown in a while. It's a new caster, basically. I'm curious about how they're gonna play. It looks like the idea is basically that they paint things that then do stuff.
がとうございます。
Thank
It
you.
was one of the ones that people really thought it was going to be. But after what we saw during the end of 6.5, I think a lot of us were like, it's
The
most
second
likely
job
going to
of
be
Dawn
Green
Trail
Mage, but
will be ranged magical DPS wielding a brush, the Pictomancer.
さあ皆さん予想の方は当たっていたでしょうか。
Did you guess correctly?
ラスベガスのねファンフェスでちょっとね謎の僕 T シャツ着てましたが
Yeah, at Las Vegas Fanfest, I wore a very mysterious T-shirt.
まあうまいことなんか2つのジョブのヒントっぽくなったのかなっていう。
the hint was probably that since all 4 Ninja Turtles, which was what was on his shirt, they're all named after painters, that's where it was probably the hint. So yeah, that's probably what it's gonna say.
I feel like it was a good hint for both jobs.
はい、ピクトマンサーはですね FF6 に唯一登場したジョブになってます。
Pictomancer was the only job to debut in Final Fantasy VI.
ファイナルファンタジー6では筆を使い敵のこうイラストを描いてね描いたその敵の技を使うというジョブでした。
In FF6, Pictomancer used their brush to draw their enemies and therefore use their techniques.
ファイナルファンタジー14ではその描くという部分を発展させピクトマンサーがさまざまなモンスターだけじゃなくて絵を描いてそれを魔法として攻撃や補助などの効果を発動させていくという見た目にも非常にユニークなジョブになってます。
So yeah, talk about a new one being released as
FF14
well.
Pictomancer has a bit broader of painting skill. They can paint not only monsters, but landscapes and other things, not just the enemies that they are currently facing. And they also have a very unique appearance.
暁のメンバーであるクルルが今回ピクトマンサーにジョブチェンジすることになりました。
And the Scion Kryl has become Pictomancer.
ね、クルルずっとちょっと戦えなくてねお留守番が続いていたんできっと頑張ってくれたんだと思います。
Because Kryl could never fight before, right? She was always sort of stuck watching things at home. I think she probably tried really hard to take on this new role.
吉田はピクトマンサーのコスプレをしないのかっていうふうに、目に入ってきておりますがさすがにこのジョブ、50歳のおじさんが、コスプレするのは厳しいものがあると。
I'm seeing people saying, why isn't Yoshi P cosplaying the Pictomancer? But honestly, I think it would be a little bit difficult for me as a 50-year-old man to portray the image of this job.
その一部からっていうのをちょっとやめてもらっていいですか。
People are like shocked.
スタッフ真に受けるんで。というわけで今回はですね僕の代わりにですね素敵なモデルさんに、新ジョブ衣装を着ていただいてます。
But in my place, we do have a wonderful model who will be showing off this job gear.
ご登場いただきましょう。どうぞ。
Let's call her out.
Yeah, I think I saw on Twitter, like quickly, a picture of her. Just in the outfit.
いやさすがでしょう。
Wow, impressive.
可愛いの声ありがとうございます。どうですかって見てくださいよ。無理でしょ。
See, this wouldn't be a good look on me.
It could work, but I kind of see what he also needs.
ちょっとコメント会場の一斉に大丈夫似合うよみたいなのやめてもらっていいですか。
Everyone keeps saying, no, it'd be fine, it'll look great, please stop.
こちら新ジョブピクトマンサーのジョブ専用装備をまといイメージキャラクターとして登場していただきました。
So our model here is wearing the job outfit for Pictomancer.
着心地はいかがですか。
How does it feel?
良い。
Good.
なんか俺の装備もクオリティ高かったけど確かにすごいな。
My gear was also of high quality, but man, this is impressive.
ではピクトマンサーのね、紹介が終わるまでちょっとステージ上に一緒にいただきましょう。
If you could stay up here while we finish introducing Pixomancer, that'd be great.
ではピクトマンサーの特徴を見ていこうと思います。
So let's look at the details of this job.
まずロールに関しては先ほどお伝えした通り遠隔魔法 DPS で装備枠はキャスター枠になってます。
So this will be ranged magical DPS using the gear of casting.
You already knew that.
そして筆という専用の武器を使います。
And they have a special weapon that is their brush.
Kinda makes sense.
コメント配信そろそろそのコスプレした吉田の腹が見たかったとかそういうのはいいんで集中して聞いてもらっていいですか。
I see you all on the stream saying you wanted to see my midriff. Please stop and pay attention now.
こちら対応クラスはございません。最初からジョブの状態で戦えます。
So there is no requisite class for this job. You can just start from the job itself.
And I
そ
guess
してスタートの初期レベルは80からとなっております。
Starting level will be 80.
Kinda already knew that as
ジョ
well.
ブクエストの開始地はグ
Damn,
リダ
yeah.
ニア
Okay,
と
that
な
kinda
って
makes
おり
sense
ます。
actually, I guess.
And the job quest will be beginning in Gridania.
黄金のレガシースタートの際には条件を満たしていればすぐにでも使用可能となっています。
So long as you've completed the requirements, you will be able to pick up this job right as soon as you get into Dawn Trail.
そうなんかグリダニアでジョブクエスト開始するの久しぶりなんですよね。
It's been a long time since we had a job quest start in Gridania.
はい、結構特徴的なジョブクエストになっておりますのでジョブクエスト自体も、お楽しみください。
The job quests themselves are also very unique, so I hope you'll look forward to that.
では続いてバトルのイメージに
When was the last job actually that started in Gridania introduced? I'm kind of curious about that actually. Give me a sec. I'll just kind of quickly want to search that up. What was the last job that actually got introduced that ended up in Gridania? That was Gunbreaker apparently. Huh. That was back in the Shadowbringers then. Not as far back as I thought it was. Honestly, apart from Reaper, the last time anything was in Ultide was actually in Stormblood. Huh. Alright.
いきましょ
Now let's talk about what they're like in combat.
う。まず先ほどお伝えした通り筆に魔力を込めて描いたイメージそれを力にして戦うのがピクトマンサーです。
As we mentioned, the Pictomancer concentrates Aether in their brush to release their power by drawing pictures.
絵画魔法というジャンルの魔法を使います。
It is the magic of an artist.
さらにですね、ファイナルファンタジー16のピクトマンサーはね、相手のモンスター自体の絵を描くっていうジョブだったんですが、
The Pictomancer in 6 was drawing just their enemies.
ファイナルファンタジー14では相対する敵に関わりなく、さまざまな生物や武器、さらには風景を描いて効果を発揮させます。
But regardless of what enemy they're facing, FF14's Pictomancer can draw creatures, weapons, and even landscapes.
結構あれですね、
I have a feeling this is
VFX、
going to be a very
エフェクトと
popular
呼ばれるものもピクトマンサ
job
ー専用
for people
の
that kind of
タ
want
ッチ
to have
で
a sort
ちょ
of
っとね、
cutesy character.
ドローイングされたような形でかなり、ね、
Especially
消
also
息を繰
for
り返
people
して
that
作っ
just
てい
are
ます。
artists that play the
We
game.
have quite a few original visual effects for Pictomancer to really make it look like they are drawing.
絵を描くためには詠唱時間がありますが、もちろんそれを補う無詠唱魔法とか、アビリティも存在しています。
Of course, in order to create a work of art, it's going to take some time, but to go along with that, you will also have instant cast spells and abilities.
ピクトマンサーは自身が攻撃するだけでなくパーティーを強化するような魔法も一部持っています。
And the Pictomancer does not simply attack, they also have magic that can buff their party.
サポートジョブというわけではないので、そういったところ結構気にされる方いると思うんですが、サポートジョブというわけではないですが、黒魔同士のような攻撃特化ではないということだけお伝えしておきます。
We wouldn't say it's a full support job if that's what you're thinking, but it is not quite so attack focused as something like Black Mage.
ちなみに普段遠隔魔法 DPS キ
More
ャスターやってるよっていう
along the lines
方
of
どれ
something
ぐらいい
like
ますか？
Who's playing ranged magical DPS right now?
I think it's maybe more along the lines of bard
few.
dancer-ish.
ピクトマンサーはちなみに蘇生魔法は持っておりません。
Pictomancers cannot res you.
Okay.
さあではちょっと頭の中イメージできたかなと思いますので、先ほどの動画もう一度ご覧いただこうかと思います。
So I think you have a good idea now in your mind of what Pictomancer might be like. So with that, let's take another look at the video.
どうぞ。
Yeah, I feel like if the person is an artist, this is definitely gonna be one of the classes that I feel like they're gonna just be like, yeah, I'm gonna play that.
はい、ありがとうございます。新ジョブピクトマンサーいかがだったでしょうか？
Thank you. How was it?
配信の先にいる光の選手の方からですね、質問が届いておりました。絵が下手な僕でもピクトマンサーになれますかって。
So we have a question from the chat asking, okay, even if I am just terrible at art, can I be Pictomancer?
絵が死ぬほど下手な吉田にも使えているので大丈夫だと思います。
I am so bad at art that it is like just so dreadful, and I'm fine, so you'll be fine.
Okay, that's at least good.
21ですって
Don't have to sit and just
言ってる方
troll
いら
in
っしゃ
the
いますね。
game.
大丈夫です、大丈夫です。
It does not require artistic skill.
はい、ではピクトマンサーありがとうございました。
Thank you to our Pictomancer.
さあここでちょっとピクトマンサーに関してですね、ドイツ語のプレイヤーの皆さんに一つお知らせがございます。
Now we do have one announcement about Pictomancer for our players playing in German.
これまで「ファイナルファンタジー6」のオリジナル、それからピクセルリマスタードイツ語版では、ジョブ名をですねこのように表記してました。今パワーポイントに映ってます。
So in FF6, both the original and remaster, Pictomancer had previously been translated as Duplicant.
デュプリカント、多分これ造語だと思うんですけど、デュプリケートってちょっと MM 用語だとアイテムが増殖するみたいなのでちょっとうってなるんですけど
Yes, duplicate has a bit of a special meaning in MMOs, you know, dupes of items.
でおそらくですね、モンスターをコピーするデュプリケートするような多分イメージで当時ドイツ語のジョブ名作られたんだと思います。
But at the time, because the job was in fact duplicating your enemies, that's why they translated it with a name that means duplication.
ただ実際ピクトマンサーというジョブに関してその敵の姿をコピーするだけではなくていろんな絵を描くっていう遊びをピクトマンサーに作っていこうとするとどうしてもジョブ名とイメージの開きが出てしまうので、今回FF シリーズ全体で協議をしてですね、14のドイツ語版では今書かれているようにどちらかというともうピクトマンサーに近い、こちらも造語になりますがジョブ名を、作りました。
However, because 14's Pictomancer is focused around creating original works of art, not just duplicating, we thought there would be quite a gap between the name if we use the legacy translation. So therefore, for all of the FFs, we will now be
Why does that
using
remind me
this
of
new name,
AI stuff?
Pictomant.
まあ今後また新たな FF シリーズでピクトマンサーが登場する際には今回作った、ピクトマントというドイツ語表示を使っていこうと思いますので、ミスではないのでドイツ語プレイヤーの皆さん、しっかり協議した上で FF シリーズ全体として決めましたので、ご理解いただけますと助かります。
So in future Final Fantasy games, you will see Pictomant as the name for this job. So please know that's not a mistake. We didn't forget the old name. This is this choice we made for all of Final Fantasy with everyone involved. So thank you, and we hope you'll enjoy the new name.
まあやっぱりこうシリーズね、歴史が長いとこう発展していく中で、当時ねその限定した機能に対してだけ名前を付けたものが後になってね、こうそれを拡張しようとすると噛み合わなくなるっていう結構例かなとは今回思いました。
Honestly, when you have such a long-running series as Final Fantasy, you will run into these cases where what made perfect sense at the time is no longer working for us, and this is a great example of the sort of stuff we deal with.
ただやっぱりシリーズの可能性とか、発展性ということを考えた時に変更しなければいけないというタイミングがあるというのも今回しっかり議論した上で決めましたので、まあ似たような事例ね、今回はドイツ語でしたけどいろんな言語でまた出てくる可能性もありますので、なんとなく頭に入れておいていただけると助かります。
But you know, as we grow and develop as a franchise, we really need to adapt in the way that is best for Final Fantasy's future. And this time it only affected German, but I think it will probably happen in all languages at certain points. So just remember that that's what we're bearing in mind when we make these decisions.
さあでは続けてさまざまなキャラクターが登場するこの黄金のレガシー、そのストーリーについても、触れておきましょう。
So let's move on to the story of Dawn Trail, which will feature myriad characters.
今回皆さんにお届けするのは再三英雄光の戦士への最高の夏休みとお伝えしてきました。
As we've mentioned, we will be giving you the greatest summer vacation a warrior of light could have.
新たな冒険、そしてそのバカンスの目的は西方トラル大陸になります。
The site of this vacation and our new adventure will be the continent of Tural.
依頼されるのはトラル大陸にあるとある王国の王位継承令制の助力です。
And the reason we will be going there is for the right of succession for a nation over there.
その依頼主となるのが
And the person who has requested our help
こちらのキャラクターです。
is her.
トラル大陸の王女ウクラマトというキャラクターになります。
This character is Wuklamat. She's the daughter of the current ruler of Tural.
なんとなくね、あんまり見たことのない種族にも見えるんですけれど。
I feel like I haven't seen this before.
ミコってだよね、多分ね。
Is it a Mikote? そうですよね。
多分ちょっと体質的にちょっとモフモフしてるミコってだと思います。
I think it's just a really, really fuzzy Mikote. まあそれしかないですよね。
そうですね。まあまあじゃあ気にしないで先進みましょう。
Don't worry about it.
この王位継承レースというのはさまざまな候補者が入り乱れて競うものになっています。
So in this right of succession, we will be competing with other various contestants for the throne.
その王位継承レースの道中ですね、さまざまな気づきやドラマが待ち構えています。
And there will of course be a lot of revelations and various dramatic turns along the way.
まあその王位継承レースというからには他にも候補者います。
Of course, as a contest, we do need people to compete against.
さらに暁のメンバーがそこにどう関わっていくのか、それらはぜひ皆さんの目でお確かめください。
And so I hope you'll look forward to finding out how exactly the other scions play into that competition.
今ご紹介したこの新たな登場人物であるウクラマトなんですが、いよいよパッチ 6.55 のメインクエストパート2から登場となります。
As for Wuklamat, who we've introduced today, you will be able to meet her in patch 6.55 part 2.
早速ですね、非常にキャラ性強いキャラになってますんで、ぜひですね皆さんの手で、新しい物語のまさに序章をですね、体験していただければと思います。
She is a very strong character, so I hope you look forward to getting to know her.
そんな気になる、分かったじゃあパッチ 6.55 はいつなのかねと。
Okay, so you're wondering, I'm sure, when is patch 6.55 coming out?
パッチ 6.55 は1月16日公開となります。
January
It'll be coming
16th.
out on January 16th.
I probably won't be able to. I probably won't be able to play any of that until like the Friday after that releases, because I'm starting an internship like the day before, so I don't really know how much I can really do that thing on the day. So
さすがにね、来週
Let's see,
週
I
明けは
guess.
すいません、ちょっと僕らファンフェスの疲労で倒れているので厳しいので、中1週明けて、リリースさせていただきます。
Obviously, after Fanfest is over, we are all going to be passed out, so we're taking a week and then releasing.
なおですね、すいません、パッチ 6.55 は24時間メンテナンスを予定してます。
And also, we are planning to have a 24-hour maintenance for this patch.
これはですね、パッチ 6.55 の公開作業に合わせて皆さんの日本の全データセンターの各種、いわゆるサーバー機材ですね、ものすごい高性能サーバーがたくさん並んでるんですけど、それを最新の機材に全て入れ替えるという作業を同時に行わせていただきます。
This is because we will be replacing the entire Japanese data center infrastructure with newer machines.
これによってですね、さらに安定性増しますし、いろんなことが、アイテム関係だったり、土地だったりハウジング、いろんなことまたやりやすくなりますので、それらのメンテナンスとそれから最新機器への入れ替えということを、今回やりますので、すみません、ちょっと長時間のメンテナンスになりますがご承知おきください。
We're sorry that it's such a long maintenance, but this will contribute to future stability and our ability for the servers to handle things like items and housing, so we ask for your understanding.
はい、では続いて新たな冒険の舞台となる西方トラル大陸追加情報を、見ていきましょう。
So let's take a look at some new information about Tudal.
こちらエオルゼアの全体図ですね、三大洲の西方に位置する巨大な大陸です。
So on the map, you'll see that it is to the west of the three great continents.
こちら
This is
左
all
に見える
info we
のが
already
トラ
know.
ル大陸ですが、
And on the left is what we've shown you so far.
こちらですね。
Yeah, are you going to show more of the map?
で今回なんとトラル大陸というのはですね、南北に大きく、大陸が存在していて、今回の舞台となるのは、
They haven't shown the
そ
top
の
part, I
南
think,
北トラル
yet.
大陸を股にかける冒険になります。
But Tudal is actually a very massive continent expanding from north to south, and we will be going that full length during our adventure.
なので最新の、14の世界地図はこのようになっております。
So this is the full new map.
そしてご紹介してきた今回新たにプレイヤーの皆さんプレイヤータウンとなるのがトライオラです。
And this is the new player hub that we introduced, Tuliolal.
このトライオラ自体がこの南北のトラル大
Is
陸を
that
つ
going
な
to be
ぐ
the
橋の役目を持っています。
trading one or the
Tuliolal
other one?
actually functions as a bridge connecting the north and south parts of the continent of Tudal.
先ほど公開したトレーラーの方にもこうやって巨大な橋出ていたと思います。
As you saw in the trailer, there is a literal bridge.
今回の冒険はこのトライオラを中心にトラル大陸の南北をまたいでの大冒険となります。
So the Tuliolal will be at the center of our adventure. It will span from north to south of Tudal.
南北文化的な統一感というのはある程度はあるんですけど、 ここではちょっとネタバレで言えないさまざまな出来事により南と北で大きく物語が揺れ動いていくことになります。
There's a degree of unity between the cultures of the two due to certain developments that I will not share here. There will be major story developments in both North and South Tyrol that will change the story significantly, so you can almost think of it as a two-part structure.
もちろん一つの壮大な物語 7.0 自体で、そうなっていますが、内容をねやってみると二部構成に近い、新しい我々のチャレンジにも見えるかもしれません。
Of course, the whole story overall is one unified story, but you may feel like it does have two distinct arcs when you play through it.
では新たなフィールドを、振り返りと新しい情報を交えつつ、ご紹介
Is
し
that
て
going to be
い
new
こうかな
areas
と
that
思
they
い
talk
ま
about
す。
for the same ones we've
So
already
let's
heard?
both review and take a look at some new information on field areas.
まずこれまではスクリーンショット等々でしか出せなかったものをまとめてですね、既存の情報公開した部分動画にして、ダイジェスト動画を作ってきましたので、まずはそれをご覧いただきましょう。
So far, we've only been able to show you a few clips and screenshots, but we've put together all the materials we have so far into a collection that we will show you now.
それではどうぞ。
I think we've already seen this footage before. That, however, we haven't seen. I think. Maybe some of it. We haven't seen of that. The sort of Western sound, we haven't seen that. We've seen pictures, not in-game footage though, I think. And that's some of the areas that they showed during the last Fanfest. We only saw a screenshot of that, I think. It is very pretty, but I don't think we've seen that area before.
Thank you.
That part to the left, I don't
さ
remember
てさ
seeing.
てかなり冒険のイメージ多いですね、自然地形そういった数々ご覧いただきました。
So we've taken a look at some natural scenes that really speak of adventure.
ではここからはですね、既存エリアの紹介でしたのでさらに新たなエリアを、ご紹介していきます。
But those were areas you've seen before, so let's look at some that you haven't.
ちょっと今まで見たものとは毛色が変わるので、あまりすいません多くは語れないです。
These are pretty different from what you've seen so far, and for that same reason, we can't tell you a whole lot about them.
その点すいませんご了承ください。
Please understand.
まずはすいませんいきなり動画からいこうと思います。
We'll start with a video.
どうぞ。
What the fuck is this? What? What? This looks like some sort of fucking high-tech future cyberpunk shit. What the fuck? Why are we in this? What? Huh? What?
突然の絵代わりに会場騒然としておりますが、
Yeah, so that was a pretty sudden change of visuals there.
Huh?
こちらのエリア、ちょっとね動画の方では本当オブジェクト全然出せない、ネタバレが強くて出せないんですが、 エリアの名前をソリューション9と言います。
We really can't show you a lot of specific objects from this area because it would be spoilers, but we can
Solution
tell you it's
9?
called Solution 9.
こちらもソリューション9も、まあ、プレイヤーの、皆さんが滞在する大都市がトライアラだとすると、こちらショータウンの状態になってます。
This too will function as a town, much like the player hub of Tuliyola.
Fuck yeah! That looks like that's gonna be fucking packed, that place.
説明をしておきましょう。
I will explain it just a little bit.
トライオラとは全く異なる文明によって築かれた摩天楼都市となっています。
That place looks
So
fucking
this has
awesome.
been constructed by a totally different civilization than Tuliyola.
まあそんなの見たらわかるよっていう話だと思うんですけ
I'm
ど、
fucking
I think
hyped
you
for
can
that
probably
shit.
tell just by looking.
まあ名前の由来はですね、すいません、いろいろご想像ください。ちょっとだけスクリーンショットもお見せします。
Please let that be like the area that you mainly go to, because I feel like usually it feels like maybe not always actually. Another thing about it, I feel like for the most part the first city you go to of the big ones in an expansion tends to be the one that doesn't have as much sort of content, I guess you could call it, like other content like the crafters and the vendors and all that. That's usually the second town you go to. Since to the Yulal seems to be the first one we go to, I'm thinking, since we've seen so much about it. That leads me to believe that this might be the essentially Ratzat-Han, Idleshire-esque town, which I am fucking hyped for, because I fucking those are the towns that people usually tend to be at, because that's where all the tombstone vendors are. Basically just all the different vendors relating to, like, yeah, progressing and so on. And if it looks like that, that's gonna be a fucking awesome city to have.
But maybe have a think about why it might be called Solution 9. And we have one more screenshot to show you.
That it's so different and it looks fucking cool.
黄金のレガシーのイメ
That is so
ージ
awesome.
がガラガラと音を立てて崩れ去っていく感じがしますね。
I feel like we are loudly destroying any mental image you might have had for Dawn Trail right now.
すみません、ちょっと先ほど言いましたが、オブジェクト等はね、ネタバレが強いので、いろいろちょっと削除したスクリーンショットになってるんですけど、まあ実際にはいろんなオブジェクト存在してます。
Like I said, we can't really show you specific objects in this setting because it would be a spoiler, so we've kind of erased them all, and this is just the background.
まあビルなのか、こう施設なのか、これね、かなり雰囲気が今までと異なってます。
But are these buildings? Is this a facility? In any case, it's quite different from what we've seen.
先ほどもお伝えした通り、このソリューション9、プレイヤーの皆さんのショータウンでもあるので、かなり施設や設備の多い場所となっています。
But as I mentioned, it will be a player hub, so you can expect a lot of different facilities and features there.
どんな物語になるのか、そもそもここはどういった場所なのか、これまでの今までのね 6.X シリーズまでとも異なる雰囲気での冒険、いろいろご想像ください。
But you know, as for what this place actually is, what sort of story will take place here, you'll just have to imagine for yourself something that is quite different from what we've seen thus far up to 6.X.
ではもう少しだけ新しいエリア紹介していこうと思います。
And I'll show you one more area now.
こちらはアートワークとなっています。
This is the concept art.
こちら新たなエリア名ヘリテージファウンドと言います。
And this area is called Heritage Found.
Interesting name.
もう謎しかないで
Looks
す
like
ね
it's
これね
underground almost.
It's pretty mysterious.
蒸気機関を持ったような列車が走ってます。
There seems to be a steam-powered train.
まあしかも
Wait a second. Is that part of Solution 9? Because we have that structure in the background, that large sort of bluish structure. I'm wondering if that is maybe an elevator of some sort that goes from like Heritage Found up to Solution 9. Maybe. Or maybe it's Solution 9 is inside there or something. I don't know. But it could be. That is fucking interesting.
しかもこれアートワークですけど、手前と奥とで異なったね文明が混ざってるように見えますが、こちらは一つのエリアの中になってます。
And it certainly looks like the stuff in the foreground and the stuff in the background were constructed by different civilizations, but this is all one area.
異常なほどですね、奥側電気に満たされた地域になってます。
This area is absolutely replete with lightning energy.
ではここからはですね、ちょっともう説明ができないので、スクリーンショットだけチラチラお見せします。
But I can't really give you any more explanation than that, so we'll just take a look at a few more screenshots.
なので 7.0 黄金のレガシーにはいろんなエリアが出てくるよと思っていただければ助かります。
And you'll just have to take this in the spirit of there are a variety of areas coming.
ではまず1枚目。もうまあこれまでね、黄金のレガシー自然地形とか荒野ばっかり紹介してきたんですけど、まあこういった地域もあって複数の文化というのが混在しています。
So far we've shown you a lot of fields and natural scenery, but as you can see here, there's also these very unique areas with cultures intermingling.
なんとなくね、ガレマール帝国っぽいイメージにも見えなくもないんですけど、ちょっと違いますね。
It looks a little bit like Garlemald, but not quite.
ガレマールだと黒と赤だもんな。
And Garlemald was very black and red.
そして2枚目、奥に見えるのは先ほどのアートにも見えていたタワーなのか何なのか。
In our second screenshot here, in the background, you can see that same thing, whatever it is, a tower maybe?
まあ、こういった地域だとしても人々は、ここでたくましく力強く生きています。これらはダンジョンではなく、プレイヤーの皆さんが冒険するフィールドとなってます。
But even in an area as strange as this, we have people living their lives. This is not a dungeon.
なんかここで釣れる主どんなやつなんだろうなって想像すると
I wonder what kind of big fish you can fish up here.
そして最後、こんな場所もありますというのだけお伝えしておきます。
There's also this, and that's all I'll tell you.
とにかくですね、7.0 黄金のレガシーいろんなものを詰め込んだ拡張になっています。どんなエリアなのか何が待っているのかいろいろご想像していただければ嬉しいです。
But what we've shown you is that Dawn Trail will have a variety of areas and things to experience, so let your imagination run wild.
さあではエリアの紹介をしましたので、こちら友好部族、この地域に住まう部族たちのおさらいをまずはしていこうと思います。
But now that we've talked about the areas, let's talk about the people who live there who might become your potential allies.
これまでにペルペル族、それからモブリン族を紹介してきました。
We've already introduced the Pelupelu and the Moblins.
もともとですね、この地域巨人族文化も強く根付いており、オールゼアとは異なる夜深海族という巨人たちも見受けられます。
So in this area, there is a deep-rooted culture of giants. Though they're not called giants, they are called the Yokhui.
バヌバヌ族にも似た姿のちょっとねカラフルな種族ですが、ハヌハヌ族と言います。
We also have these colorful folks who look quite similar to the Vanu Vanu, and indeed they are called the Hanu Hanu.
これプロデューサーレタライブとかでも話すとき、吉田滑舌悪いなって言われそう。ハヌハヌ族です。
Yes, so they are called the Hanu Hanu.
そして何よりですね、今回やっぱり注目なのはこちら、さまざまマムージャたち登場してきます。
But the most important part of this are the Mamulja.
トライオラを治めている相当の2つの、ね、頭を持つマムージャ、グルージャジャを筆頭にですね、数多くのマムージャ族が登場してきます。
The most prominent example is, of course, the current ruler of Tuliolo, the two-headed Gulul Jaja, but there are plenty of other Mamulja of all shapes and sizes.
まあここでちょっとスクリーンショットで紹介しているのは、まあその一部になりますが、多様な、部族が登場して物語の中でもその部族同士の多くの価値観というのが、物語上提示されていきます。
What we're showing you in the screenshot is but a small sampling. In the story, I think you'll find that the Mamulja are very diverse, including their perspectives and values.
まあ彼らと光の戦士である皆さんが出会い、どのような冒険の道を進んでいくのか、そしてプレイヤーである皆さん自身が今回の物語からどういったものを感じ考えていただけるのか、僕自身も非常に楽しみにしつつ制作を進めています。
I'm really looking forward to seeing how meeting the Mamulja will change your adventure, and also how you specifically will feel about them and what you will take from this story.
さてさて、じゃあここからはですね、各種システムのアップデート、それからコンテンツについて、お伝えしていきます。
So now let's move on to system updates and more details about the individual content.
現状お伝えできる最新の情報をすべて盛り込んで 7.0 全体をお話ししていこうと思います。そして 7.x シリーズにも触れていきます。
So we will be giving an overview of all of 7.0 as well as 7.x, including as much new information as we can share right now.
まあすみません、まずは何度もお伝えして恐縮なんですが、ついに皆さんのレベルキャップが100になります。
As we've said a few times, the level cap will be raised to 100.
Q14 からやってるよという方、どれぐらいいらっしゃいますか？
How many of you have been playing since 1.0?
お、ありがとうございます。ありがとうございま
Thank
す。
you.
皆さんとはね、足掛け13年以上の旅路になりました。
It's been more than 13 years together.
うわ、すごい、コメントでもたくさんね、手を挙げていただいてます。本当にありがとうございます。皆さんのおかげで
A
ね、
comment as well.
我々今こんな場所で拡張についてお届けできているので、本当にありがとうございます。
Thank you all so much. We've gotten to this point because of you.
もちろん、申請スタートのタイミングから始めてくださった方、まあ、最近始めてくださった方も含めて、光の選手の皆さんがいてくださるからこそ、ここまでね、我々開発チームの長い旅でもこの10年あったと思うので、その果てにですね、ついにレベルキャップが3桁になると、これ長く続けられないと到達しないので、本当にありがとうございます。
Of course, all of you who joined from 2.0 and those of you who have started playing recently as well are equally important. We could not have gone on this long, long journey of 10 years without you and reached this milestone of a 3-digit level cap.
さあ、では今日お伝えしたピクトマンサーも含め、7.0 ではバイパーとピクトマンサー2つのジョブが実装となります。
So including Pictomancer that we introduced today, as well as Viper, we will have 2 new jobs in 7.0.
ちょっと質問してみようかな。
So let's
バイ
ask,
パーやるぞっていう方、
who's going to play as Viper?
お、
I'll try it out at least.
3割4割ぐらい。
Maybe
ありがとうございます。
25, 30%? Yeah.
ピクトマンサーやるわっていう方、
Who's going to play
I'm
Pictomancer?
gonna be trying out both of
Oh,
them
yeah.
at least.
Wow, there's a lot of you.
いや何言ってんだよ、結局全部やるんだよっていう人、
Who's going to play everything?
当然やろうみたいな感じでありがとうございます。
Everyone's like, yeah, obviously I'm going to do that. Thank you.
お、コメントでもそりゃそうだろう。
Of course.
まずはピクトマンサー、バイパー、どっちもやる、結局全部やるって書いていただいてます。ありがとうございま
A
す。
lot of folks saying, I'm going to do both. I'm going to play them all. Thank you so much.
まあ新ジョブだけじゃなくて他の、既存ジョブに関しても、ね、レベルキャップ解放された新たなアクション追加されますし、大きなメンテナンスが入る場合もありますので、既存のジョブもですね、しっかりアップデートしていこうと思います。
Of course, it won't just be our new jobs. With the level cap being raised, we will be adding new actions and updating our previous jobs as well.
では
To be expected.
続いてバトルコンテンツ、ちょっと基礎バトルコンテンツ、新情報も含めてですね、いろいろお話ししていこうと思います。
So let's talk about the core battle content, including some new info.
もうこの辺り今表示されているものは今回もしっかりありますよということをお伝えするだけです。
Of course, as far as everything on this screen goes, we just want to let you know that we will, of course, be adding more of these.
もちろん多数の新ダンジョンご用
It's
意して
basically
あ
just
り
old
ます。
stuff we
And of
already
course, we'll be
know.
having many new dungeons.
ダンジョンの制作非常に順調に進んでます。
The progress on dungeons is going quite well, actually.
今回はですねその制作が進んでいてストーリーのネタバレにならないものを動画としてちょっと編集してまとめてまいりましたのでご紹介したいと思います。
I'd like to show you a video. This is of the dungeons that that are well underway, and also that will not be spoilers for you.
どうぞ。
Okay. The one on the raft. And I'm guessing that, yep, that's the area that they showed a screenshot of at one point. They showed some screenshots of this one as well last time. I don't know about that one. I think they showed some concept art of this one. Like how you can basically hear the main theme in the music
ありが
there.
とうございます。まあ、祖権の方からも言われてますが、まだ曲はモックアップなので、これが最終クオリティだと思わないでねって言ってると思いますんで、お伝えしておきます。
I will tell you I have a message from Soken, which is that this version of the music is just a draft. It's not done yet.
制作の方は非常に順調に進んでおります。いくつかのダンジョンはですね、僕の、一時チェック、道中チェック完了しているものもちらほら出始めております。
But our progress with the dungeons really is proceeding well. I've gotten to the point of my first stage of quality checks on some of them.
続いて、ちょっと敵側のことを見ていこうと思います。
Now let's take a look at a few enemies.
こちらすでにご紹介
Oh
し
my
た
god,
マリオなんだよエリミネーター
Summon
と
Center.
なんかボス以外にもねちょっとユニークなモンスターいますね。
So we have the ones we've introduced so far, Valigarmanda, Eliminator, and there are also some interesting monsters outside of the major bosses.
ちょっと筋トレしすぎた感ありますよね。
This thing looks like it lifts perhaps too much.
なんというか超
He's a big
なん
boy.
ですか筋肉質なサボテンダーに見えるんですけど、どうやら名前はバレルテンダーというらしいです。
So this super buff Sabotender is called the Barrel Tender.
めちゃくちゃなパンチドーンしてくるイメージしかないですよね。
I can't imagine it will do much rather than just punch the heck out of you.
まあ NPC だけでなくね、こうした新たな生態系というのを持つモンスターとの出会いというのも拡張パッケージの魅力の一つかもしれません。
I think it's not just the NPCs in the new environment that are exciting. Part of it is experiencing these unique monsters as well.
そしてもちろん強敵と戦う上でですね、コンテンツサポーターに関してもアップデートが行われます。
And of course, while you're fighting, you will want these duty support updates on your journey.
今回クルルがピクトマンサーにジョブチェンジしておりましたので、ついにコンテンツサポーターデビューのような気がしております。
Given that Kryle has changed to Pictomancer, I feel like she will be making her duty support debut.
クルルさんおめで
Nice.
とうございます。
Congratulations, Kryle.
ちょっとね、僕クルルさんにはちょっと大きな歌詞が1個消せないやつがずっとあるんで。
I have a lot of feelings about Kryle.
歌詞じゃない仮だった。もうやばいのが1個あるんでね、もうちょっとずつ恩返ししていこうかなと思ってます。
I feel I really owe her one, so let's use this to pay her back.
コンテンツサポーターたちはストーリー上 でのボスとの戦いというのでも、しっかり活躍してくれることと思います。
I think you'll find these updates very useful when progressing through the story.
では続いて多数の装備、それから新しいクラフトというものがやっぱり拡張パッケージなので大量に登場してきます。
Of course, as it's an expansion, we will have a lot of new gear and recipes.
今回拡張 7.0 で新たに登場する新装備というのは全て第一次グラフィックスアップデートの仕様によって最初から豪華に作られていますので、 7.0 の新装備のクオリティというところにもぜひご注目ください。
So all of the new gear that is implemented in 7.0 will have the graphics update applied to it. So definitely take a look at that quality once you get in game.
では開発中ではありますが、スクリーンショットいくつか持ってきたのでご紹介します。
These are still in development, but we did bring a few screenshots, so let's take a look.
こちら左から召喚士、侍、賢者、ガンブレーカーとなってますね。
Right, so from the left, we have Summoner, Samurai, Sage, and Gunbreaker.
どうしてもスクリーンショットでは分かりにくいんですが、今回それぞれのパーツに異なる素材感という、それから質感、シワの入れ方っていうのまで相当こだわって作ってます。
It's a little bit hard to tell from the screenshots, but each element of these outfits, in terms of textures, quality, and details, are really much improved.
今回は特に布系の質感というのがですね、
It's really hard to
非常に豪華になっているので、ちょっとご注目いただければと思います。
by themselves and
I
not
think especially the
comparison
quality of the
shots.
cloth really stands out.
手に入れた
They
際
told
に
me
はですね、
bad.
ぜひ、
Pretty
5
good.
分ゆっくり一段落してからでいいので、じっくりちょっと装備というのも見ていただけると、開発チーム喜ぶと思います。
Of course, over the course of your adventure, once you have time for a break, I hope you'll take a close look at this gear. That would make the devs really happy.
そしてこちら貴公子、リーパー、先生術師、そしてナイトです。
So here we have Machinist, Reaper, Astrologian, and Paladin.
まあ光の当たり具合だとあれですね、貴公子のあたり
Don't really know if I like the Reaper
I
outfit
think the
necessarily.
quality might be easiest to see with the Machinist.
Machine's
これ
not
ら
like
装備はブラッシュ
Reaper.
アッ
I'm
プ、
kind of
それ
like
から調整というのをリリー
maybe
ス
a
ギリ
bit
ギリ
too
まで
much
続けていき
detail
ま
on the
す。
head
And we
piece
will
and so on.
continue brushing up and improving this gear right until release.
もちろん、ジョブ専用装備だけでなくおしゃれ装備というところにもご注目ください。
Of course, it won't just be job gear. We'll also have plenty of fashionable gear for you as well.
では装備もちらっとね、ご紹介しましたので、次の項目進みたいと思います。
All right, so let's move on.
新たな生活系の大規模コンテンツやりますよというお話をさせていただいてました。
We have told you that there will be expansive new lifestyle content.
企画内容がですね固まりましたので、ちょっとコンセプトアートをご紹介していきたいと思います。
That's what it
And
sounds
finally,
like.
our plans have come together, so we do have concept art of that to show you.
こちらです。
Okay. Huh.
また
Okay, so that's definitely up with the Loporits. Seems like you may be developing a sort of society where people can maybe go and visit? Maybe? Not really sure. Seems like, but it also seems like to be very related to crafters and gatherers almost.
どこ行くんだよっていう感じなんですけど、
It looks
Wow, where are we
interesting.
going now?
ご覧の通りですね、次なる大規模生活
I do
系
know
コン
that
テン
they
ツは
make it so that we can basically download that
様々な
picture
惑星に訪れてい
to
た
our
だきま
PCs
す。
because I want that as a
So
background
as
image.
perhaps you can
My
guess, the
PC.
next lifestyle content will take you to various different planets.
一つの星だと
Different
ね、
planets.
なんかちょっと絵が変わらないじゃないですか。今回絵代わりっていうところも考えてですね、いろんなシチュエーションの惑星にちょっと行っていただこうかなと思ってます。
If it was just one, you wouldn't get much variety in the scenery, so we thought we'd give you a bunch so you could get a sense of progress.
なんかね西方のトラル大陸で冒険だとか言ってるのに、お、じゃあちょっとあの星行ってきてもらえるかなみたいな。
Several planets.
You're thinking, oh, all right, let me go on an adventure to the continent of Tyrol, but let me just pop over to this other planet also.
こちらのコンテンツタイトルこのようになっています。コスモエクスプローラーと言います。
Cosmic
The name of this
exploration.
content will be Cosmic Exploration.
こちらのコンテンツはですね、ソロでもちろん参加することができますけど、皆さんで力を合わせて発展させていくものになっています。
You can, of course, play this content solo, but it's really intended for everyone to work together to make progress.
この向かう先エリアっていうのもですね、パッチアップデートが進んでいくことによってテーマとする惑星が変わっていきます。
And with each update, the star that you were working on will change.
どんな惑星をこう巡っていくのか、そこでねどんなドラマが待ち受けているのか。メインクエストとは異なりますが、パッチ 7.X シリーズ順次こう展開されていく、長期間のコンテンツになっていますので、ぜひご注目ください。
It'll be a little bit different than the main scenario, but definitely keep an eye out for this and think about what kind of places you'll visit and what will happen there.
あれですね、セイントセイヤの話をしている人が多いですね。
A lot of people talking about Saint Seiya.
もうコスモって言ったらもう世代によってはすぐそうなっちゃうんですよね。
To most of us, if we say the word Cosmo, we think of Saint Seiya in a certain generation.
さあ燃やしていきましょう。
Let's go.
さらなるこのコンテンツの詳細はですね、今後またプロデューサーレターライブなどで、順次お伝えしていこうと思います。ご期待ください。
We will tell you more about this content in PLLs coming up.
さあ続いてはこちら、新たなアライアンスレードについてです。
Next, about our new Alliance raid.
前回こちらですね、アライアンスレードどうなるかというところは、MMORPG としての大先輩でもあり、運営開始からね、なんと21年を誇るファイナルファンタジー11をテーマにした内容でお届けしてまいります。
So as we've told you before, this Alliance raid will be based on FF11, who is our great senpai in the field of MMOs, having been running for 21 years now.
今、開発制作を進めるにあたっていろんなコンセプトアートやイメージアートを進めているところなんですが、1枚ちょっとご紹介させていただこうと思います。
We've been progressing on this development, and so we have
Very cool.
various concept art,
Wonder
of which we'll show you
if
one today.
11 would get a Final Fantasy XIV rate, maybe.
これ、あ、
Could
ご
be a
存知ですよ
possibility, but
ね。
I don't really know if they still
some
get
of you know.
really
11を多
updates.
分やってる方はご存知かと思いますが、こちら闇王と呼ばれる存在です。
Those of you who played FF11 will probably know, but this guy is called the Shadow Lord.
どんな登場をするのか、それから他にねどんなボスとか
Okay.
キャラクターが登場してくるのか、ストーリーはどうなるのか気になる部分多数あるかと思います。
I'm sure you're very interested to know how he shows up, what other characters
Something
you'll
like
see, and what the
once a
story is
year or so.
overall.
Okay.
こちらもですね、プロデュースされたライブで詳細ね、さら
Don't
に
really
近
know
づい
how
てきたらお
if
伝え
they
していきま
still
すが、
got
こ
like
のエコ
big
ゾンバ
updates
ナ
or
リーグ
something.
パッチ 7.1 からスタートして、
You don't know if it's anything substantial. Okay. So I was thinking like maybe there was stuff, like bigger stuff, but I haven't really heard anything about FF11 like a long ass time. So yeah, maybe it's just like minor updates, maybe like seasonal updates or something. Who knows?
参りますので、パッチ 7.0 終わって、こちらまたね注目していただければと思います。
So we will give you more details in future PLLs, but for now, just know that Echoes of Vanadil is coming from 7.1.
はい、ではアライアンスレイドを紹介しましたので、
The
こちら
8-man
新たな物語が開幕となる8人レイドに関してもお伝えしてまいります。
And we have another new story coming with the 8-man raid.
Don't think they've announced
さあ
anything
こ
about
ちら
that.
もですね、コンセプトアートが仕上がりましたので、そちらを見ていただこうかなと 思います。
We have a concept art for that as well, so let's start by taking a look.
What the? Oh. That looks like we're inside a fucking PC, I would almost say. Is that inside that Solution 8 or whatever that place was called? Is it related to that? What the fuck? Like, just from quickly taking a glance at it, I would say, like, yeah, this is giving me like high-end just PC vibes. Like all the lights and the fans and everything, just the fans, the light, everything. Just yeah, that's a gaming PC. That's maybe what I think.
パッケージのね、アートとかけ離れすぎていて、何なんだ。
This is really different from our art for the expansion in general.
Also, Future City.
GPU って言ってる。
It's a common trope in Japanese RPGs, yeah.
グラフィックボードが起立してるって言ってる。
I definitely see a graphic board in there.
ツイッチと YouTube、特にツイッチがですね、すごい型番めっちゃ連呼してますねみんな。
Yeah, the other city that they showed, Solution 8 or whatever the hell it was called. Since that's apparently a player city, I'm really hoping it ends up being the Razadhan, essentially, of Dawn Trail, because that city looks fucking dope. And I feel like that city is going to be really popular, especially for people that try to make G poses, because that city looked fucking cool.
You don't all know a lot about this hardware.
まあ一体どこなのかね、そう何なのかさっぱりわかんないと思います。
But what is this? I'm sure you have absolutely no idea.
でも皆さんグラボっぽいなって言ってるやつ、あれがレイドの舞台です。
But that thing you think looks like a graphics board, that is actually the stage for our raid.
冷却したくなるって言ってる。こちらレイドタイトル
Could it be
決まっており
something
ま
like
す。
tournament?
The raid title has been decided, and it is
四天のザ・アルカディアというシリーズが、こちらレイドタイトルとなります。さてどんな物語になるんでしょ
The Arcadion. What sort of story will it be, I wonder?
う。こちらもですね、
Could
レ
it
イド
be maybe like
ならではの多数の新キャラク
an
ター登場予
arena
定と
or
なっていま
tournament
す。
sort of thing?
Of course, there will be a myriad new characters coming with this raid.
物語はですね、
Big
フ
city, yeah.
ァイナルファンタジー14完全オリジナルストーリーとして、今制作が進んでおります。
An arcade game
And the
that
story
couldn't
itself
be
will
it?
be a complete FF14 original.
もちろんですね、ストーリーを進めていく、まあ難易度ノーマルと、難易度が高い霊式それぞれちゃんと用意してあります。
Of course, we will have the normal mode for you to enjoy the story, as well as the higher difficulty Savage.
パッチ
Originally, yeah.
7.0 リリースから、まあ、おおよそ1ヶ月ぐらいで、ノーマルと霊式と順次公開していく予定ですので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。
We will be releasing Normal and Savage in sequence about 1 month after 7.0.
まあ同時だとね、焦っちゃうんでね。はい。
If it was at the same time, you'd feel rushed, I think.
さあでは8人レイドご紹介しましたので、
So that is our 8-person raid.
高難易度のレイド大好きだっていう方ってどれぐらいいますか？
And who likes the highest difficulty raids?
ありがとうございます。
Ultimate
最近ね、
raids?
絶
Is
言
that
ってる
what it's
方
gonna
多
be
い
talking
んで
about?
すよ
Oh,
ね。
a lot of people playing Ultimates.
さあ次は新たな絶
New
に関
Ultimate raid.
しての
Okay, which one are they gonna
And we
do?
will have a new Ultimate raid.
Is it gonna be
次ある
Eden?
ですね、絶も現在
Is it
企
gonna be
画
Eden?
制作順調に進んでおります。
The planning and development for this is already moving along.
さて今回何がテーマに
They're
なる
gonna
か
say
と言
which
い
one
ま
it
す
is.
と、
As for the theme,
何でしょ
what will it be?
う。聞いてみよう。ゼノス。
Xenos.
こちらどうですか、どなたか。知性獣。ああ、なるほどね。順番に来とるやんと。 なるほど、うんうんと
I
言っ
feel
てます
like
ね。
Eden would make the
死
most
生獣ね。
sense.
死生獣以外で何かありま
We're
すか？
thinking we're going to go in order of.
エデン。
Let's be-
ああ、なるほど、エデンね。
Ah, Eden.
エデンね。
Eden.
It is.
次なる
I mean, there are not a lot of raids that they could really go with. Like they've done, what is it? They started out doing what's it called? The Bahamut raids. Then they went with Alexander. Then they did. I think they also did Ultimate Weapon. Those were the 3 first ones that they did. I think the 2 first ones. I think Bahamut and could be wrong. I think Bahamut and Ultimate Weapon was in Stormblood. Then the Alexander raids was it Shadowbringers, and then they have done Dragon Song Reprise, which I guess technically isn't a raid, but was relating to something else, like the whole Ultrafont stuff. And then they have done Omega. So they would either have to do the only other raid that isn't like quote unquote current content, which would kind of be weird. I feel like they usually wait like an expansion in between of sorts. Also, thanks for the follow. Named Mono or something? Ah, yeah. Would you look at that? A person. God, will you fuck. Okay. Thank you. I was just trying to basically do that, but for some reason when I clicked and was like, oh, let me just click on ban, it wouldn't show up, or rather, it basically had a small pop-up thing like, oh, invite. Like, no, fuck off with that thing. Yeah, thank you, Ryuko. But yeah, there is kind of a limit to what they could have gone with. It would either have to be like something story related that has nothing to do with the raids, but I don't really know what they could go with necessarily. There are some things, but I don't really know exactly what it would have been. Or the Eden raids, and the Eden raids were like pretty, like just there. That's an easy opportunity to just go with.
希望のそのエデンのとあるストーリーをモチーフとした内容になります。
So part of the story from Eden will be our theme.
こちらのアート見覚えもちろんありますよね、光の戦士の皆さん。
I'm sure you remember this art.
レイドタイトルは絶もう一つの未来という名称になりました。
So the title will be Futures Rewritten Ultimate.
I believe Futures Rewritten is the name of the
パッ
last
チ 5.4 のパッ
patch
チ
with
タイ
that
トルにも
raid
かかっ
series.
てます。イメージアートもその時のものです。
As you know, this is also the name of patch 5.4 and along with its art.
Yep.
今でもですね、非常に人気のあるストーリーとそれからキャラクターたち、ごめん、それらをですねモチーフにどんな戦いとかシチュエーションが待っているのか、ぜひですねレイド好きな皆さんお待ちください。
This is even now a popular story and very popular characters. So please look forward to what we will do with them in this raid.
こちらの絶はですね、パッチ 7.1 でリリース予定となっております。
We are planning to release this ultimate in 7.1.
まあぜひね、ゆっくりちょっと挑んでいただけると嬉しいです。
So we hope you'll take your time with it.
さあ次。
Should we see if we can get into Ultimate for Dawn Trail? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to trying out the Ultimate raids. The thing is just I don't have the gear for it right now, and from what I've seen, they are fucking difficult. But I would be completely down for that. Like, Chun Chun, one of my friends, has also been all like, oh, he wants to do Savage Raids and Ultimates. He hasn't played at all for like the last fucking 4 months or something. Like, he wants to basically do Ultimates as well, and was even thinking of like, oh, there's these people that I know that are playing. We have like this amount of people that we could have a team with. He hasn't done anything with it. He hasn't even done the MSQ, as I said the other day. Like, but yeah, won't have the gear for it anyway. It's in like 7.0, right? The new gear anyway, yeah. But I believe it's like you need, I think, like Savage gear as well. So you need I think it would probably have to be like getting a group, like a proper static, doing Savage raids in order to then get the gear, get the right gear from the Savage raids and from crafted gear or whatever, in order to then do, or maybe it's all just from Savage. I don't really know. You just get best in slots, right material, all the right food, and so on, and then just go on in with the ultimates. Could be a
コン
thing.
テンツのこう継
I would
続
not
して
be
アップデ
opposed
ー
to
トし
doing
てい
that.
きますよというお知らせだけしておきます。
Now just some quick updates on our ongoing content updates.
さまざまなコンテンツアップデートをしていきますので、こちら、
We have quite a few things we'll be updating.
まあこれらは 7.X シリーズでも順次アップデートしていきますよというお知らせとして受け
And
取っておい
goals
てく
also
だ
update
さ
they
い。
also mentioned last time.
So basically all you need to know is that we will be updating all of these things over the course of 7.x.
カットシーンコストの非常に高い某ヒルディブランドさんのシリーズですけど、開発チームやりたいということなので、ヒルディまた活躍してくれることになりました。はい。
Hildebrand is really eating up our budget with his fancy cutscenes, but the development team really wants to do it, so there will be more Hildebrand.
それから PVP のアップデートも本格的に、スタートするのは 7.1 からになります。まあ、7.0 はね、皆さんメインストーリーやジョブのレベルアップで忙しいと思うので、7.1 から、いろんなものがスタートしていくことになります。
Our major PvP updates will be starting from 7.1 because we feel you have plenty to keep you occupied with 7.0.
それからですね、世界中でかなりお声を頂戴しているこちらフィールド探索型コンテンツと呼んでいるものをちょっとお知らせしておきます。
And we've received a lot of feedback on this subject, so we want to talk a little bit about new field operations.
一部ですね、インタビュー等ではちょっとお話ししているんですが、パッチ 7.X シリーズではエウレカとかボズヤに続くフィールドをイメージした探索型の新たな大型のコンテンツも今計画
Are
中
they
です。
gonna introduce
I've
something like
mentioned this a
that?
bit in interviews, but in 7.x we will be introducing something in the style of Eureka and Bosnia, a new field operation.
多人数で参加してですね、攻略を進めていくタイプの遊びとなるように、現在企画を進めています。
This will be something for a lot of players to participate in simultaneously in order to clear.
今後の続報をぜひちょっとお待ちください。
So please wait a bit and we'll give you some more information.
いやーでも時代も変わったなと思うんですけど、エウレカを当初ねスタートした時はエウレカの話はもういいよみたいな反応も結構あったんですよ。
Yeah, the times have really changed because I remember when we started with Eureka, everyone was like, oh, Eureka?
まあでも諦めずにですね、しっかり遊びのねそういった枠の遊びの一つとしてまあアップデートやりきった。
Still haven't done Eureka or Bosnia. Yeah, like they are a big investment if you basically want to get stuff done in it. Like Bosnia, I will say I would probably say is better to do. It's not as much of a thing to basically do that, especially if you're trying to do the relic weapon for it. It's technically easier because you don't need to do all of it in Eureka or all of it in Bosnia. Some of the things are faster to maybe do in Bosnia, but you can do stuff outside Unlike with Eureka, where it's like you need to do everything. There's nothing you can basically avoid doing regarding Eureka that is not regarding the Eureka weapons that are not tied to Eureka. Like, once you get to the second area, you basically need to do the quest line, and then you get a kettle of sorts that you then need to fill up with some energy that you get by doing the notorious monsters there. And once the kettle is filled up enough, you can basically go to a furnace thing and get some crystals, which you need a certain amount of in order to upgrade your weapon, which is, it's a pain to do. So hey there, Nikuko. Welcome to the stream. We're watching the Final Fantasy XIV Fanfest thing and just chatting a little bit as well while I'm, you can maybe see up in the top right corner, I'm fishing as well at the same time. Because I'm trying to basically get a thing upgraded that I have.
た結果、本当にたくさんの人にね、楽しんでいただけるようなシリーズというか、コンテンツの形になってきたので、ちょっとね、一回お休みしてましたが、7.X シリーズ、次なる探索型作っていきますので、ぜひですね、一緒に楽しんでいただければと思います。
But we saw it through to the end, and we worked hard to develop the content into something that a lot of people ended up enjoying. And we have taken a break for a while, but it will be back now, and we look forward to developing more similar field operations.
I think the reason why a lot of players are really wanting field operations of some sort, especially when it comes to the relic weapon, is because this expansion's relic weapons have been an absolute fucking joke. It's like, oh, how do you get the relic weapons? Yeah, 1,500 of the current uncapped tombstone, just get like 1,500 of that, and then you just do that for every step. Like, it's so boring compared to like Realm Reborn and Heavensward had a lot of just stuff you need to do randomly, random places, and then Stormblood and Shadowbringers had the those two areas, Eureka and Bosja, which just had a lot of content that you could do instead of just like spam roulettes or dungeons, which is fucking boring.
そしてコンテンツに関してなんですが、もう一個お知らせをして終わっていこうかなと思います。
Okay, just one more announcement, content-wise.
You just haven't gotten to the point where you can make the new relic weapons. Is it because you haven't done the Hellbrain quests, or what?
欧州ファンフェスでお伝えしま
The
し
new
た
limited job.
新たなリミテッドジョブ、まあ、パッチ 7.X シリーズのちょっとね後半で実装とはなりますが、
This is something I'm
こちらに
interested
つい
in
てお話しします。
because I really like Blue Mage.
So we announced before that we will be having a new limited job released in the latter half of 6.x, 7.x.
Are you gonna announce it?
ジョブ名だけお伝えしておこうと思います。
Today we will tell you just the name of this job.
Ooh. Beastmaster. Okay, that was the thing that a lot of people have been basically thinking would make sense. I wonder how it's gonna play though.
Beastmaster.
まあリミテッドジョブですので、まあソロでも遊べるし、リミテッドジョブ同士のパーティーでも遊べるような企画というのも今使用作成進み始めています。
As a limited job, of course, we are proceeding with plans to allow you to play solo or in parties with other limited jobs.
まあ
Sounds like a pet team class, yeah.
ですので、何かしらねこうちょっと収
I'm
集
just
的
wondering
な
how it's gonna play. Like, is it gonna be Pokemon-esque, or is it gonna be something where,
まあこちらについてもね、
like, I wonder if it's gonna work similar to Blue Mage, where you maybe go out, and instead of learning spells from monsters, you can go out. This is just me thinking, but maybe it's something where you learn or go out, find monsters, specific monsters. You can then tame them, and then use the monsters as sort of your spells, maybe. In combat, it could be something like that, maybe, but I have honestly no clue. That's just my idea, but that might be a bit too close to Blue Mage, so maybe they have some other idea for it.
ちょっと 7.X シリーズの後半にはなりますが、情報よりアートとかね出していけるようになったら、続報 PLL 等でお伝えしていこ
Just
う
Pokemon
と思います。
could also be that.
As it is Beastmaster, we are thinking of having some kind of collection feature to go with it, obviously. Once we have art and more information, we will share it with you.
はい。さて、新情報、交えながらですね、7.0 とか 7.X シリーズの展開をここまでお伝えしてまいりました。
So that is our updates about 7.0 and 7.x.
第1次、次、グラフィックスアップデートの進捗状況をお伝えしてまいろうと思います。
But I do also want to take a moment to talk about the graphics update and its current progress.
今回はグラフィックスアップデートもですね、随分大詰めになってきました。今バグとひたすら戦っているところです。皆さんのプレイヤーキャラクターどうなっていくのか、その種族がどうなったのか気になっているかと思います。
So it is proceeding quite well, but as a massive update, we're currently contending with bugs. But I'm sure you want to see how all the different races are coming along.
皆さんのお使いのすべての種族についてちょっとお伝えしていこうかなと思います。
So I will now show you a little bit about each race that you might want to play.
まずこちら、キューランミッドランダー男性からお伝えしてみましょう。
So let's start with a Huron Midlander male.
ここからはですね、皆さん画面を見て左側が、今のグラフィックスの状態、右に新しいバージョングラフィックスアップデートが入った状態を表示していきますので、ご理解ください。
So on the left we'll be showing the current or original version, and on the right we'll be showing the new version with the graphics update.
こちらがヒューラングラフィックスアップデート版だとこのようになります。
So with the update, this here will look like this.
まずやっぱり髪の毛の雰囲気というのが、非常に明確になってテクスチャー解像度不足していたものも顔各ねパーツ高解像度化されてかなりね見栄えするようになったんじゃないかなと思います。
So as you can see, the hair is a lot more clearly defined, and also the texture resolution is significantly improved, and the face looks more natural now.
で繰り返し言っ
Not
て
a
ます
big
けど、
jump, but hair looks better. Yeah, but that was kind of also what they were doing, just not massive updates to the stuff, but just improvements, from what I understood.
なので違いがいまいちわからんっていうのはある意味ちょっと褒め言葉のような気もしてます。
As I've said before, we could do more, change things more, smoothen things more, but we do also want to keep the image of the characters the same. So honestly, if you think, oh, it doesn't look that different, that's kind of a good thing.
さあそれからですね、各種族初期装備種族装備ありますよね。あれも今回すべてグラフィックスアップデート対応しています。
Also, the starting gear for each race will be included in this graphics update as well.
チェックも僕のチェックも終わりましたので、初期装備各種族の種族装備のクオリティアップにもご注目ください。
My quality checks on that are already done, so definitely take a look at that starter gear when you can.
続いてヒューランミッドランダー女性です。
Here is the Midlander female.
こちらがですね現行の状態。
Here's the original.
そしてこちらがアップデート版となります。
And updated.
The shadows from the hair is a lot better, I would say.
あと唇のね、
I would say that is a bigger improvement, sort of.
As you can see, the hair texture as well
bit
as
more
the way
aligned, at
that the
least.
volume is portrayed are quite different. And also for each race, we've made some improvements to lip shine.
あとはですね、頬に落ちてる影をちょっと見ていただければいいんですが、かなり自然にセルフシャドウ滑らかに落ちるようになりました。
And also, if you take a look at the shadows on her cheeks, you can see that they are much more natural now.
さあ続いてハイランダー男性です。
Now we
They're
have a
just
Highlander
gonna go
male
through all of them.
新しいバージョンがこちら。
with the new version.
筋肉のね凹凸、それに対しての影の表現、それから肌ツヤの光沢みたいなところ、非常に分かりやすいかと思います。
I think the muscle definition, as well as the shadows that go along with it, and the
That
shine of the
many-
skin are very clear here.
It's not a
まあ
huge
今までは
improvement
ね、こう
either.
テクスチャー
But
で
it
なん
is
と
the
か
just
馴染ませて
higher
いたみ
quality,
たい
I
な部
guess.
分がより自然な形になったんじゃないかなと思います。
Yes, before we sort of had a mishmash of textures looking there, but it's a lot smoother now.
さあでは続いてハイランダー女性見てみましょ
And now for a Highlander female,
う。こちらが現行の状態。
original
こちらがグラフィックスアップデート版となってい
and
ます
updated.
まあ、目鼻立ちっていうのが、まあ、非常に鮮明になって例えば
Just
髪の
higher
生え
quality
際なんかもかなり自然になったんじゃな
Better
いかなと
hair
思い
and
ます
shadows and whatnot.
As you can see, it's become a lot more natural, especially around the hairline.
あとはこう目元の精悍さみたいなところよりはっきりしましたのでやっぱり目元のキャラメイクっていうのは今回どの種族もかなり幅が広がったと思います
And around the eyes are also the features are much better defined, so that will allow you to get a lot more specific in your character creation.
さあ続いてはエレゼン見ていきましょうエレゼン男性です
Take a look at the Elysian male
こちらがグラフィックスアップデート版
and the updated version.
Well, say
まあやっぱ
looks
目を
better
引く
at
のはね
least.
髪の毛の詳細それから耳の
Looks a
表
bit more
現の
alive.
自然さなんかっていうところが結構
Almost.
こだわりポイントですね
What I would notice most about this is obviously the details of the hair, as well as the characteristic ears.
まああとこの頬骨のあたりの特徴というのも
Face
まあ
also
結構ちょ
just
っと
looks
ポリゴ
more
ンが
alive,
露
I
出
would
した
say.
ような状態だったのが吸盤なんですけど今回骨格表現が非常に滑らかになったんじゃないかなと思います
The cheekbones as well, we were having some polygon issues before, but they look much better defined.
まあちょっとね若返って見えるかもしれません
He might look a bit younger and fresher than before.
続いてはエレゼン女性こちらが現行となります
Here's the original for an Elysian female
そしてアップデートされたエレゼン女性こういった形
Okay,
です、
yeah.
and the updated
Looks
version.
better, I would
まあ
say
も
as
う
well.
特にね全体的にやっぱりポリゴンの表示数というのが、増えたことに
Looks less game character because we could only do game looks 10 years ago. Yeah, it looks better, just higher quality because most of these models are also like what 10 years old or something like that. Basically, the shapes are more natural in the updated. Yeah. Also, just like the eyes don't look as dead almost because of the shadows as well in the hair that they cast. It also looks more natural instead of just like, hey, let's just. I know it gets like dark here, but like just completely blank or not shadowed hair there or forehead, which kind of makes it seem like, oh, like I can't see the swoop sort of the hair. Like here, I can see that there's a sort of swoop going out. Here, it doesn't really look that way to me. At least it's not as obvious. It is definitely improvements
によって
across
滑
the
らかに
board.
なってこれま
But big
で以上にです
improvements.
ねイメージを保
But
つつ
still improvements, which is
ボ
what
ディ
they're
ならで
also
はの
aiming
リアルさ
for.
みたいなところにちょっと近づけられたんじゃないかと思います
Dead fish eyes, yeah.
So with the increased poly count, I think it's become a lot more natural, and it should be easier for you to get a sense of realism with your character, or perhaps realism in an FF14 sense.
あとは額のあたり
This
のやっ
begins
ぱ
to
りこ
warp.
うセルフシャドウですね自分の髪の毛が自分に落ちるこうセルフシャドウがちょっとねこう処理がしきれない状態でちょっと浮いて見えるんですけどこの影のセルフシャドウのあたりもかなり自然になったんじゃないかなと思います
Previously, the shadow with the bangs was not very natural, but now it is much improved.
あとはこれ
That was the
ちょ
thing
っ
I
と素
also
材感
made
の話
mention
が分
of
かりやすいんで
just
すけど
before.
所属装備のこの首元のレザーをちょっと見ていただくとめちゃめちゃそのグラフィックスアップデート版革の模様が表面体表がちゃんと書き込まれているというか見えるかと思います
You can also see, if you look at the collar of her gear, you can see the improvement to the material quality of the leather.
これはグラフィックスアップデートされている
Dead fish is a Splatoon character
装備に
slash
はやっぱ革
musician.
の表現革の
Okay.
表現もこれ 一つじゃない
Didn't
の
know
で
that. I thought you were
同
making
じ
like
革
a
だとして
dead
もいろんな
mouse
革
sort
の
of
表現今回
reference
出てきます
thing,
の
I
で
guess.
革や布そ
Yeah,
の
the
素材感
leather
をぜ
also
ひ
looks
注
better.
目してみてください
With this update, it's not just like there's leather that has a singular texture. There are a lot of different qualities of leather that we were able to portray, and cloth as well. So definitely take a close look.
では続いて、元からイケメンの代名詞であるミコって男性です
So these are our classic pretty boys, the male Mikote.
もういいんじゃないかな彼は
It's pretty good looking already.
Just a bit of a
こちらがア
reference,
ップデート
maybe.
版となります
And this is the updated version.
Okay,
こう
looks
まあやっぱ唇の
I would say a
ツヤと
good
かです
amount
ね
better.
髪の毛のこうふんわりした雰囲気目元のこういうシャープさっていうところがよりこう皆さんね調整して生きやすくなったんじゃないかなと思います
But the lip shine, the hair and its sort of fluffy texture, and the sharpness around the eyes are all improved with this
He
new
wants to
version.
pin his head.
ラ
I
ハ
can
が
see it.
さらにイケメンになってしまうなこれ
I think Graha's going to be even more of a hottie now.
さあ
Yeah, that is
では
a
ニコって女性
good
見ていきま
improvement.
しょ
And let's take a look at the Mikote female.
うはいこちらが現行版となります
This is the original
そしてこちらがアップデート版です
and the update.
この肌の
More of a
褐
gloss
色
to the
っていう表現もですね、まあ、単なるこれまではちょっと色の調整みたいな形だったんですがよりこうやって艶が出せるようになって環境光が暗いところだと本当に潰れてしまってたんですけど暗いところでも
Shines to the eyes, I would
褐色
say.
の肌を使っている場合に色が潰れなくなってしっかりこう肌の特徴っていうのが今回出せるようになりました
Right, so with dark skin, previously we only had the ability to sort of change the color of your skin, but now we have this improved shine and depth, so that even if your character is in a dark environment, you will still be able to see the features of your skin.
まあ特に面白いのが東京ドームのバックスクリーンの並んでる映像を見ると、まあ同じライティング環境下なんですけど、もう
Yeah,
全
it's
然やっぱり
basically, I guess,
鮮明さ
more
が
natural
左で
dark
違う
skin
のがね、あそこ分かりやすいなと思います。
compared to what they had
Yeah, if you
before.
look at the screen on the back here, we have, it's the same lighting really, but they look totally different.
さあ続いて、こちらルガディン男性です。
Continuing on to a Rugadin male.
そしてこちらがグラフィックスアップデート版。
This is the updated version.
もう純粋に全部
You
パ
can
ワーア
kind
ッ
of
プ
see
みたいな
wrinkles around
感
his
じになってま
eyes,
す。
almost.
I just feel like generally we have powered him up.
やっぱり元々のこの顔のね凹凸表現というのがまあルガディン影響が大きい種族
Yeah, the
なんですが
right,
それぞれがです
the
ね
updated
自然
one
に
is
馴染むよ
definitely
うにな
more
ったんじゃないか
updated
なと思い
or
ま
high
す。
quality, I would say.
In general, all of the limitations we had before had a really significant effect on Rugadin faces in particular, but I think that the update has really improved them.
僕のフレンドにもねやっぱルガディンすごいこだわって使ってる方いるんですけどさらにね
Looks more natural than
まあそのフレンドが
because the
どう
one
い
on
っ
the
たこう
left
調整
looks
し
a
てく
little
るのか
bit
ちょっ
like
と個人的に楽しみだったりします
doll,
I have a
like
friend who
almost.
is really obsessed with Rugadin, so I look forward to seeing how he will adjust his character in light of these updates.
はいでは続いてルガディン女性いきましょう
Now let's take a look at a female Rugadin.
こちらが現状の状態です
This is current.
そしてアップデートにより
And
こういった形となりますあらありがとうございます
Yeah,
大きな
the eyes are not as like. I feel like that the face on the left looks a bit odd. The one on the right looks way more natural, especially because of the eyes and I guess also to an extent the lips. Because on the left it looks a bit. I don't know if it's just maybe a bit too pink on, whereas the one on the right is like a lot better. The new skin colors are more glossy compared to before, where they were just flat. It's a huge facelift of the femros, yeah. And yeah, of course, also just higher quality hair and so on.
拍手をいただいてますありがとうございます
Thank you very much.
まあルガディン女性
I'm
やっぱ
wondering
り
if there's
こ
gonna be
う
more
男
of
性
the
と同様に
other
ですね各パー
like
ツ
characters
制
that
約
are
の
more
非常に
other
多い
races that haven't
状
been
態
as
でこ
popular.
うこれまでね開発されていた状態でした
So similar to the males, each part of the female face was really affected by the limitations we had.
ただやっぱりこうパーツそ
Can't
れ
wait
ぞ
for
れ
one
の
to
精
show
度
up
が
in
非
your
常に
Popoto.
今回高くなったことによってまあなんかパーツ感オブジェクト感みたいなのが減ってしっかり顔全体馴染むようになったんじゃないかなと思ってます。
But because we've been able to improve each part, they now blend together better. It looks less like they're just sort of a bunch of objects and shapes assembled.
あとはこう肌の表現とかその頬にライトが当たった時のその肌
That's
の
one
透明
thing
感みたいな
about
と
the
ころなんと
femoral
話してん
face
の
that I feel
俺
like
透明感とかそういったところにも
it almost seemed a bit square in a way. Like with the nose and the forehead. Like just all the pieces it seemed a bit too much like a I don't really know what the right word would be for it, but like a not as natural face shape to an extent. Whereas the one on the right looks way more natural.
もうご注目ください。
Also, the skin, overall, how it looks, sort of the clarity of the skin is also improved.
だんだん化粧品のアピールしてるような気分になってきたね。
I feel like a makeup commercial right now.
続いてララフェルです。ララフェル男性です。
Next, Lalafell male
こちらがアップデート版。
and updated.
もうね、
Not as
違い
dead
がわからな
eyes.
いぐらいこだわってアップデートしました。
So we actually tried so hard to update this that we maybe can't tell the difference.
まあ髪はね、
We're gonna since
ま
be
あ、
kind
分
of
かりや
square,
すいアッ
yeah.
プデートなんですけど、まあ瞳とか肌とか、
But
こ
it's
うも
more
ね、
natural
見てください。
square shape now.
The hair is probably the easiest to tell the difference, but the skin and eyes have also been improved as well.
とにかくララフェルの男性女性に関してはイメージを維持したま
I'll
ま
just change the Lalafell, yeah.
全く変わってないじゃん。
The-
でもよく
the
見たら
eyes
す
have a little
げえ
bit
みたい
more
なところに
life to
めちゃくちゃこだわりましたんで。
They were already cute.
We tried really hard to maintain the image we had of Lalafells while still making the individual improvements.
可愛らしい、まあ、お人形のような、ね、雰囲気っていうのは維持しつつですね、まぶたのポリゴン、このまぶたの上にある丸みとかですね、より自然にしてですね、頬のラインはよりちょっと丸くね、綺麗に出るようにかなり細かく調整してます。3回ぐらいチェックしたはずなので。
A little bit
So
more natural.
while maintaining this sort of cute and doll-like
soft, yeah.
appearance of the Lalafells, we did make adjustments to the eyelids to make them look more natural. We rounded out the face a bit better. Honestly, it took 3 separate tries to go over and over this until we got it right.
あとですね、初期装備のちょっと襟元見てくだ
I
さい。
wonder, are they
これま
gonna
での
show female
もちろんね
Lalafells
素材
as
に
well?
比べてそう素材の質
I
感
don't
ま
know
で
if there's
こう
gonna be a
表現されてる
huge
さっきはね
difference.
革でしたけど、こちら布で確認できるかと思います。
If you take a look at the gear here, you can see that the cloth, similar to the leather from earlier, is much improved.
Yeah, it's not as glossy.
はい、
It
では
has
続い
more of a
て、
texture to
ラ
it.
ラフェル女性行きましょ
Again, also
Now we'll
also
take a look
female
at a
Lalafell.
Lalafell female.
う。このようになってます。
Was been updated like this.
Yeah, more
ララフェ
glossy
ル女性もで
skin.
すね、やっぱり先ほどお伝えした通り、男性と同じように、とにかく自然さを徹底して、愛くるしさを残したま
More
ま、
life to the eyes.
さらに細かくキャラメイク調整できるように、不審してます。
As with the Lalafell males, we wanted to prioritize making them look more natural while still keeping them very cute and lovable. And we think we've opened up a lot more possibilities for
Yeah,
more
the transition
delicate character
for the hair is
creation.
also really good.
まあ、特に今回ね、サンプル
It's not as sort of immediate to just go from like hair to skin. It's more slightly gradual. Like you can kind of see that there's a little bit of the skin color almost going a little bit through the hair near the roots, like up around here-ish, here to here. It's good.
として褐色の肌にしてきましたけど、よりこう顔の滑らかさが分かりやすいはずなので、もう比べたら一目瞭然、どれだけやっぱり動かした時に自然に見えるかっていうところこだわっていますので、ララフェル使ってる人多分いっぱいいますよね。
So with the dark skin, I think it's pretty obvious
Don't
the
know about this
quality of
choice,
the skin
makeup,
on the
though.
face and the depth of the structure there. Do we have a lot of Lalafells here?
いますよね。いっぱいいますよ
There's
ね。
some. There's
Mine
some.
just
Oh,
look
yeah, there's
like-
quite a bit.
上の方にも
made
たくさん
some
いますよね。
random
あ、すごい
like characters to test
もうそうなんですよ。
for the
ララフェルはもうとにか
showcase.
く
Who knows?
もう配信でもいっぱいいらっしゃいますね。
And a lot on the stream as well.
はい、では続いてアウラ男性です。
Okay,
next
Aura
one,
got
and Aura
the
male.
horns
こちら、
updated.
アップデート版となってます。
And here's the updated version.
まあやはりこう暗い、肌にした時
More
の、
eye
肌の
details,
質感表現っていうのがめちゃくちゃ
scales,
分かりやすいですし、
horns are more
ま
detailed
あ
as
それから
well.
角とか鱗っていうものに関しては皆さんのね、これまで公開してきたもののフィードバック
Also noticing that with the shoulder pad thing, the one on the left looks a little bit flat almost. In glossy wires, the one on the right looks more like proper leather scale sort of thing. Looks nice. And with the strips of cloth on the right, they look a bit more, just I guess defined, I would almost call it.
を受けてかなりギリギリまでこだわって調整を続けております。
So as you can see, the texture of the dark skin is improved, and also we've been taking on board your feedback from what we showed previously, and we are continuing to improve the horn and scales.
まあより精悍さが増してですね、角とか鱗部分は本当にねテクスチャー解像度がアップしたものがねかなり効果的に効いてるんじゃないかなと思います。
I think the texture, the improved textures, really help out with the horns and scales.
これでヨハイさんにもナーマが見つかるといいね。
I hope a certain man can find his Nama now that he's graphically improved.
Oh my god.
続いてアウラ女性いきましょ
Let's look at an Aura female now.
う。こちらが現行版です。
It's the original
こちらがアップデート版とな
and
っ
the
てま
updated.
す。
I would say that is a very good
元々
update.
アウラ滑らかなね肌の雰囲気持ってたんで
The
すけど、
eye,
それを
the
よ
change
り
to the
滑
eyes
ら
is
かに
really
表現して
an
鮮
improvement, I
明
would
で
say.
まあ美しくっていうところがポイントです。
So these Aura females already had quite a smooth and delicate appearance, but we think we've been able to improve that even still.
特にアウラはですね目元、専用のシェーダーと呼ばれている専用の描画をここ目の交際だけに取り入れてますので、これまでのような雰囲気を再現することもできますし、今回のようにね瞳をより
The thing
明
is,
確に
I
際
feel
立た
like
せるっていうこ
female
とも
aura is
可
the
能に
one
な
that
って
I
ます。
care the most about simply because my
We used
character
some
is one.
special shaders for the eyes, so while you can still get that look that you're used to, you can also get something slightly more defined in the eyes, like on the updated version example here.
もちろんですね、アウラを使ってらっしゃる方でですね、いやいや
Yeah,
正
I
義
feel
の
like
ないこう
the
瞳
characters
とい
that
う
you
か
would
ね、
care the most
あれが
about
好き
how
なん
they
だよって
look
いう
is
方
probably
いらっしゃる
the
の分かっ
one
て
that
ま
you
す。
play.
Because we are aware that among the Aura players, some of you really like that currently dead and soulless eye look that they have.
ちゃんと、パラメータいじれば再現
I'm happy with the Lalafell mostly staying the same. Yeah, like I'm happy with this because it looks more natural, but the fact that just like improved stuff, the eyes I don't fully know about, but I feel like they look more natural or not as weird almost. Because I will say those white eyes that they picked there, or white gray eyes, make that aura look a little bit. I don't know what the right word would be. Maybe a little bit odd, slightly uncanny valley, but not really uncanny valley, sort of. The ones on the right look a lot better. But if you can basically get the sort of same feel to the eyes, that's completely fine as
可能
well.
になっていますので、チャレンジしてみてください。
If you adjust your parameters correctly, you can still get that, so just give it a go.
まあぜひですね、各種族こだわりのキャラメイクというのをお楽しみください。
And in general, with all of the races, please look forward to adjusting your character to your preference.
でそこでキャラメイクなんですけど、まあいじりたいですよね皆さんね。
That's actually the thing I'm wondering. Once they release once the update comes out, are they gonna make it so that everyone can basically do maybe a Fantasia or something? Like maybe give everyone a free Fantasia that currently has a character. That would be a pretty nice thing if they actually did that, because there's probably going to be a lot of people that want to maybe change how they look. Since they haven't, I don't think they've done that before, but it could be a possibility to basically be like, okay, everyone now gets updated character models. You can basically change it, but only once. Because it would be a little bit, I would say a little bit mean to basically just be like, okay, we've updated how everyone now looks. You're gonna have to basically either have saved your Fantasia that you got from doing the MSQ, or basically buy one from the store. It seems a little bit weird to do that. Especially because you can't change how your character looks in-game any other way. Apart from like hair and a bit of makeup, but you can't change eyes or horns or any other like not easily changed thing.
キャラクターね。
You want to get into character creation, don't you now?
ちょっと今条件はまだ精査中ですが、プレイヤーの皆さんにですね、幻想薬一つプレゼントさせていただこうと思ってます。
We're still working out the details, but I do want to get every one of you a free Fantasia along with this.
Okay, I fucking called it.
アップデート、まあアップデートでクオリティ高くなるよとは言っても、やっぱり皆さんのキャラメイクそれぞれのその数値が今のアップデートされたバージョンと噛み合うとは限らない。
Like, legit, the only things I got spoiled on for this entire thing was basically just that the new class was called Pictomancer, and that we saw a Fem Roth on the boat. That was it. Like, during the cinematic, that was all I knew. I had no knowledge of anything else, and I fucking called that what?
知らないので、よりですね、皆さんのキャラクターをグレードアップさせていただくためにも幻想薬お配りしようかなと思いますので、ぜひですね、それを使ってこだわりのね、さらに高品質な、皆さんのキャラクター作ってみてください。
Obviously, even though the update will overall raise the quality, there's still the possibility that it won't give you exactly the look that you want right away. So we do want to give you that Fantasia so that you can go into character creation and adjust your character to suit exactly what you imagine.
That was what I was thinking, like, allowing us to basically modify if we're not fully happy.
And the update.
やっぱり最も大きな恩恵はファーシェーダーと呼ばれる毛並み専用のさっきアウラね目でしたけど、今回ファーシェーダーと呼ばれる毛を
Also the nose and sort of
特別に描画するって
lower
いうの
lip
が14についに実装されましたので、これが一番大きいです。
normal, I would say.
Similar to how we had these distinctive eye shaders on the aura, for the Hrothgar we have distinctive fur shaders that will make their fur more realistic.
これはね、もうすいません、もう触ってもらって動かしてもらうのが一番なんで。
It's better if you can sort of see it for yourself.
Those change here, the fur and hair blend a lot better, yeah.
もともとね、完成度高いんですよね、やっぱり。
I mean, already he looks pretty good.
Male are probably not that huge of a difference. Okay, eyes and shadows, that's
もともと
mostly
完成
a
度
little
は
bit
高いん
skin.
ですけど、今回ね、我々がイメージしていた、理想形により近づけられたんじゃないかなと思ってま
There
す。
wouldn't be a lot of changes there.
He already looked good, but we think we've brought him closer to our original vision for what the Vieira should look like.
まあやっぱりこう、
Lips seem rounder, yeah.
影の入り方。
Like,
全然違
they
うの
were
が多分
basically
分かっていただけると思うので
already the most updated
特徴ですね、
character
よ
in
り
terms
強
of
く
looks,
表
so
現しやすくなってキャ
it
ラメイクの
doesn't,
幅
it
が
wouldn't make
広が
any
ってま
sense
す
to
ので
basically do a massive
ぜ
update to them.
ひ理想のビエラ男性追求してみてください。
So the shadows, of course, are much more natural, and also the distinctive features of the Vieira are much easier to draw out now. So please do go in and make the Vieira of your dreams.
では続いてビエラ女性です。
And now we have a
Female
Vieira female as
Vieira
well.
would have some
こちら
more.
現行の状
The
態。
nose, yeah.
That's the original
こちらがアップデートバージョンです。
and the updated.
これだけ、黒いね かなり濃い色。
Mostly the
まあ
hair,
より
the
ダ
fur
ー
on
ク
the
寄りの
ears,
カラーを使っても今回の、ね、
skin,
全体的
but
な
the
シェード
eyes as
耐えら
well.
れるようになってます。
So as you can see, she's quite dark-skinned, and our new shaders can handle that level of dark skin.
正直14このぐらいの暗さの肌とかテクスチャーが一番実は苦手で、影に入ると全部質感潰れてしまって凹凸も分からなくなるっていうのが、まあ、非常にねやっぱ開発しづらかったんですけど、今回ここまで表現できるようになってます。
Honestly, historically, 14 has been pretty bad in terms of displaying this type of dark skin. You enter a shadowy area and it all looks bad and falls apart. But with our new shaders, that will not be an issue.
この状態でも影による陰影、
Nice.
それから綺麗にね感じられるようになって
Bit
ますし、
more animal-like
唇のね
noses, yeah.
艶なんかもしっかり出てるかと思います。
I feel
And
like it's
even with the
more
already dark skin, you can see
prominent
the
on
effects of lighting
the
and shadow are
male
very
Viera
natural and look good.
almost.
続いてなんですが、グラフィックスアップデートのさらに続き、染色箇所が鈍いになるというお話です。
And now also with the graphics update, we will
It's
talk a
your
little
shadow.
bit
Ah,
about
yes,
our
I am
two
the
dye
darkness.
channels.
ちょっとサンプルいくつか持ってきましたので見ていこうかと思います。
I've brought some sample images, so let's take a look.
これがですね現状の状態。次がまあ今まで染色、
Okay,
まあこのね
the
ライト
dye.
専用装備だと、
Original
布の部
one
分
dye.
マントとね布の部分が染色可能でした。
Is it gonna be the
So on the
armor
left we have the
itself?
original, and then in the middle we have the one dye channel dye affecting the cape.
でこれがですね今回鈍い染色可能になるので、こういったことがね可能になります。
Oh,
But now you will have two dye channels to be able to create something like this.
yes.
まあ鎧本体のカラーがね調整できるようになります。
The multiple dye
Which allows
channels
you
is
to
gonna be
color the
such a
armor as
good
well.
thing.
続いて、こちらも見てみましょう。まあこちらがですね今オリジナルの状態。
So this is the original status of this gear.
今までの
Like, it was also one of the things that people got extremely hyped for when they basically announced it. Just like, yeah,
With our current dye capabilities,
multiple
we can change
channels.
just the leather color.
まあそれ以外のね布
Will
部
this be
分
on
っていう
all
のは
gear? I think they said that it would be on all gear, or at least most gear. They would be like, I think, updating. I think they said that they would basically be updating gear periodically throughout the 7.x series, so that maybe that a Realm Born gear would be updated during 7.1 and Heavensward and so on. I think it was something along those lines. Updating gear eventually, yeah, basically they I think their plan is to have all the stuff from Dawn Trail basically be by default have the two dye channels, but anything from before will basically just be updated eventually at some point, just slowly, because they would I think it was also to basically update it to both have higher quality textures, like with the new gear, so it just looks better, but also at the same time add in the color stuff, I'm guessing, so that it just works better. I will say one thing I just thought of. I think that would be fucking awesome is if they basically said that, oh yeah, and we're also going to be making it so that all helmets will basically work on Viera and Hrothgar. If they say something like that, that would be fucking awesome. And basically just that they maybe say that, oh, and that's going to be added in with the armor update. If they say that, that would be
変色
awesome.
できなくて白に固定されてました。
However,
If I
the
fucking call
clothing
that again,
itself would always
something like
remain
that,
white.
I'm
それ
gonna.
が今回2箇所染色できるようになるので、
Like
まあ
what?
こういった色の違い出せるようになっていきます
But now you can dye both.
まあこれは
Oh, the Wolfram plate will die nicely when slash if it gets updated. Yeah. I feel like a lot of gear once it can be dyed
So
in
yes,
two
I
different
think
ways,
you can see the contrast
it's
now,
gonna
and you
be
might be able to
way
judge me
more
for my color
used,
choices.
like certain pieces.
さあ続いても、こちらがオリジナル装備、
Here's the original for a different piece of gear.
続い
be
て
the vest,
こちらが
I
ね
think,
今まで
first.
通り、服の部分ですね、
Undershirt,
布
denim,
の
vest,
部分染
probably.
色できてました、
And how it looks to dye it right now, just dyeing the cloth bit.
そして今回、染色が鈍いになるのでこういったカラーの変更が可能です、
But in the future, this is what it will look like with 2 dye channels.
ただやっぱり
Okay.
革全体、革の部分はですねやっぱりこう装備のデータって細かくなっていて同じ革に見えるんですけどこの中央の胸の部分っていうのは全く素材の違うパーツで作られているのでやっぱ鈍い染色じゃあそこまで巻き込んでできるかっていうと
I think
ちょっと
he's
そうは
talking
ならない
about
の
certain
で
parts
こうい
not
った
being
鈍い目が
dyed
ど
or
こが
something.
染色できるようになるのかっていうのはすいませんうちのキャラクターチームのセンスを信じてやってください
3 dye channels win.
So the reason that the entire leather is not dyed is actually because the middle piece is a different material system-wise than the rest of it. And this is a limitation that we will still have when creating these new gears with the 2 dye channels. So you'll just have to sort of trust in the aesthetic sense of our design team to make sure that the right parts are being dyed.
まあ全てのね細かい部位にやっぱり対応できているわけではないので、まあできる限りですね皆さんがおしゃれしやすく同一素材の面積が多いところをとにかくちゃんと染色できるように今全ての装備に手を入れてますので、少々お待ちください。
It would have been kind of funny if they just went like, yeah, so we can't do this with 2 dye channels, which is why we're doing 3. If they did something like that, I'd be like, the audience would have just fucking erupted, just like, yeah.
But even though we can't promise that you will be able to dye every single bit, we are doing our best to make sure that we are giving you the best options possible to customize your gear as much as possible and, with the greatest amount of surface area being dyed. So we are working hard on it, and we thank you for your patience.
グラフィックスアップデートの報告、ファンフェスではねここまでなんですが今後これらの要素はですね黄金のレガシー発売までの間にプロデューサーレターライブなどをやって実際実機でねこう光を当てて動かしたりしながらまたお伝えしていこうと思いますのでぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。
That is all we have to share about the graphics updates for today, but I will be giving ongoing updates up to the release of Dawn Trail in PLLs and such, so please keep an eye out for that.
すいませんちょっと水もらえないですか
Can I get some water, please?
今気づいた用意されてないあ来た
He has also been talking a lot.
さすがに口カラッカラだった
Graphics.
すいません
Unfortunately, if you stand up here for this long, your throat will get dry.
I mean, he is also talking a lot.
Amazing.
よいしょさあでは続いて、各種お知らせに入っていこうかと思います
All right, so let's move on to some more additional updates.
でここからはですねこの 7.0 黄金のレガシー発売までの間に、行われることをちょっとご紹介していきます
These updates will pertain to the time period before Dawn Trail's release.
さあまず動作環境の変更が
Okay.
グラフィックスアップデートによって行わ
Graphics
れ
updates.
ます
So we will be having our updated system requirements.
すでにねお知らせさせていただいてますがぜひご確認の上ですね準備の方よろしくお願いします
We have announced these previously, but if you have not yet taken a look at them, please do and make sure that your system is up to spec.
PC 環境でプレイされてる方でやべえまだ準備できてないっていう方
Anyone playing on PC who just realized that they had not yet updated how they needed to?
あら結構いらっしゃいますねまだ結構いらっしゃいますね
Quite a few
あまだ
of you.
結構いらっしゃいますね向こうもだあなるほど結構いらっしゃいますねこの日本のファンフェスティバルではですね各種、
40 gigabytes of
PC メー
storage.
カーそれ
Yeah.
からデバイスメーカーの皆さんが協賛してくださっており協賛ブース展開もございます、まだですねグラフィックスアップデートに備えていらっしゃらない方はですねぜひ協賛ブースの方にお立ち寄りいただいてですね PC の買い替えなど、
It'll be
デ
good
バイスの
for
買
the
い替えなど
CPU.
ご
Yeah,
検討いただ
I
ける
think
と
most
大
of
変
my
嬉しく思います。
stuff basically
Fortunately, we've partnered with
clears
several
the,
PC and device makers today, and they have a special booth set up so you can look at the equipment. So if you're not yet
what did it say for CPU? I can quickly try and jump back to that part. Find it. Yeah, I think my PC should be fine, at least for the minimum requirements. It's an Intel Core i7 6700 as the minimum requirements. Sorry, interrupted the stream. It doesn't matter. I can basically just skip through the entire thing after all. But yeah, I believe my PC basically just clears the minimum requirements. The thing I was most worried about was basically the graphics card, but I believe mine is just exactly the right graphics card for it. I would like to basically upgrade at some point, but I don't have the money for it right now, so yeah, I'm hoping that I can basically get hopefully a job at like around the summer-ish, since I'm gonna be done with my education there, so maybe I can get an upgrade, which would be nice. I can basically just play any game on my PC instead of having to like pull out the laptop, which I don't want to play on if I can avoid it. Same thing, a lot of us would love some upgrades. Yeah.
協賛ブース展開もございます。
Let's
ま
skip
だ
a
で
little
す
bit further.
など、デバイスの買い替えなど
partnered with several PC and device
There it
makers
is.
today, and they have a special booth set up so you can look at the equipment. So if you're not yet updated, maybe take a look over there and consider what upgrades you need.
はい、では続いて、すでに、お知らせ何度もしていますが、フリートライアル拡大
There's
し
the
ており
expanded
ます。
free trial and stuff.
As we mentioned previously, we have also expanded the free trial.
すでにね、パッチ 6.5 から実施されてますが、フリートライアルの範囲は 4.0、4.x シリーズへと拡大しています。
We have expanded the free trial through 4.x.
まだですね、14の世界に飛び込んでいらっしゃらないお友達とかね、ご家族とか、興味持ってるよみたいな方を、見つけた時にはですね、ぜひフリートライアルから若葉をこうバッて植え付けて、参加させていただけると嬉しいです。
So if you have any friends or family, or you just run into someone who's like, I was considering playing, please foist this upon them as much as you can.
続いて XBOX、いよいよ XBOX 版リリース2月に OBT を
Yeah,
開始いたしま
Xbox
す。
is getting Final
As
Fantasy
far as
XIV.
Xbox goes, we will be beginning the open beta test in February.
こちらはですね、2月21日頃、ちょっとまだその前後数日ずれる可能性があるんですけど、2月21日頃、オープンベータを開始させていただこうと思ってます。
Our current plan is to begin the open beta around the 21st. Plans could still change a few days in either direction, but that's what we're aiming for.
ぜひですね、Xbox ユーザーの皆さん、プレイの上でですね、この OBT から新たな冒険 7.0 備えるためにもね、冒険スタートしていただけると嬉しいです。
I really hope that a lot of Xbox players will get started right from beta and join us in 14.
Xbox ゲーマーの皆さんとですね、光の戦士としてオールゼアでお会いできるのを楽しみにしております。
And I look forward to meeting a lot of Xbox players as Warriors of Light in game.
そして続いては、こちら新たなるクロスオーバークエストファイナルファンタジー16、の旅路、順調にですね、スタートしております。
And we are continuing our development of this new crossover with FF16.
こちらリリース4月上旬公開予定とさせていただきます。
So this will be released in early April.
7.0 への期待感がガーッと上がっていくそのちょっと前ぐらいに出していこうかなと思いますので、欧州ファンフェスティバルでねお伝えした通り、多数の 報酬ご用意しております。
So we are planning to release this just before the hype peaks for Dawn Trail, and as we've mentioned previously, we do have quite a nice variety of rewards for those who complete it.
また、ファイナルファンタジー16はですね、先日 DLC 第1弾も、リリースしてですね、その世界さらに拡大中です。
So, and also we have released our first DLC for 16, you might be aware.
ファイナルファンタジー 14 7.0 を待つ間にファイナルファンタジー16のプレイもぜひよろしくお願いしますと、ファイナルファンタジー16プロデューサーの吉田さんから、伝言を預かっております。
And I
He's
happen
doing
to
the same
have a
joke as
message from the
before.
producer of FF16, someone named Mr. Yoshida, who says that while you're waiting for Dawn Trail, you should give 16 a try.
すでにプレイしてくださった皆さんも DLC
He
含め
keeps doing
よろ
this
しくお願いし
fucking
ます
joke
と
every
く
single
れぐれ
time he
も
talks
伝
about
えてくれと
16.
申し使っております。はい。
And
Those are-
also to those of you who
For those that don't know, Naoki Yoshida, who's the guy that's talking, aka Yoshi P, is the basically the director of both Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XVI. And he basically keeps doing a joke where it's like, oh yeah, we want to do a crossover with Final Fantasy XVI. I'm gonna have to get in contact with the director of Final Fantasy XVI though in order to figure that out. Like, he keeps doing
are
it.
already playing 16, please check out the DLC, and thank you very much.
はい。さあ、なんとかぴったり予定通りに基調講演終われた気がするので、さあファンフェス始めましょうか。
We're ending right on time. おい、待て待て、吉田さん。何か忘れてませんか？
忘れてる？何か？
Am I forgetting something?
ロス？
ロ
ス？え？
Something froth?
ロスがある？あ、
Female Rothgar, they talk
Ukramato,
about, I'm
no?
guessing.
Ukramato, yes.
ああ、
Yes.
そうだった。そう、ミコッテだと思ってたんですよ。
I totally thought Wukumat was the Mikote.
ご覧いただきましょう。どうぞ。
Let's look.
Female Rothgar. Finally getting them. I think they look good at least. I'm happy that they didn't go and do the thing that some fantasy universes do, where it's like, oh, we have this male sort of beast sort of character or race, where the men look like, for example, with Rothgar, like it's like bestial features, for example, fur on the skin and so on, and then you have the female version, which is basically just that's a cat girl, but with more like, for example, lion features, then but still just a human. Like I hate it when they do that. You know, they at least stick with the same sort of like vibe as with the male Rothgar, which I like it when they do that. Same things, yeah. Could maybe have gone a little bit more. I feel like maybe a little bit more bulk on them, like more muscly or something. Then they were maybe a little bit closer to Rothgar, but I'm happy with this at least.
Thank you. After a long wait, we will finally be implementing the last race, female.
I do wonder though, height-wise, where do they lie? That is the thing that's gonna really determine where, like, whether I am happy with how they look or not. Because if they're smaller than male Hrothgar, I will be disappointed. I'm kind of hoping that they are at least the same height, if not taller. I kind of would prefer it if they were actually taller. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like that would almost be better if they were just like taller than the males. Like male Hrothgar can basically be more like built, like more muscles, slightly wider, and so on. But if the females are basically just taller and more slimmed down, that's fine with me, because that means that, okay, male Hrothgar may be built for like to be just tanks, whereas females are just built to be more faster attackers, sort of thing. You would go with that? I think I could be wrong, but I think in like with lions, for example, if we go with them, I believe the female lions are actually the ones that tend to hunt more. I could be completely wrong with that, but I feel like I've heard that somewhere at least before. Yeah, if they go with basically that idea, that could be something they've gone with for the inspiration.
Hrothgar.
さまざまなねデザイン候補の中からできる限り、ストレートな
We're finally getting the final race.
しなやかな体育を持つ種族と
At
して、
least
今回デザインしてき
both
ました。
genders for all races.
We did our best to straightforwardly make these as sleek and strong looking as possible.
こちら
I'd kind of heard that some people apparently, at least on Reddit, were a bit split on how they wanted it. Either something along this line, and some people were like, oh, they basically just want like slightly bigger female Mikote, which I'm like, nah, don't make them look like Mikote. This is kind of what I would have preferred, basically.
設定ですが、イルサバードに由来する種族となっており、ロスガルね、もともとイルサバード大陸に出自を持ってます。
As you know, what we have for the Hrothgar currently is that they hail from Ilsabard.
Yes.
比較的ね出生率、設定もう出ているので、これまでもお伝えしてきたんですが、女性の出生比率が少ない種族ですが、優れた指導者とか傑物をね輩出しています。
So you will be aware of this from the setting we have in game already, but female Hrothgar are typically.
Maybe, but you feel like one thing missing in Final Fantasy XIV is a femme that is by default is taller than masculine counterpart. Yeah, that would be kind of actually cool if they did that. Kind of would like that actually also to be implemented.
Rare, but they do have.
Or the option to basically, maybe not the option to make them taller, but yeah, just by default, I guess, be taller.
Surpassing leadership qualities.
今回の物語に登場するトラル大陸ではですね、ヤクテル樹海が今回本拠地のような形で登場してきます。
As far as Tural goes, they have a home in Yaktel.
彼女らとの出会いというのにもぜひご期待ください。
So please look forward to meeting them.
もちろんね、プレイヤーの皆さんがキャラクターとしてご自身のね、キャラクターとして選択可能になります。
And of course, you will be able to play as them as well.
I feel like we're going to see a
追加は大
lot
変な
of
ので、
these on
最後に
release.
したい、
A lot of
最後に
them
したい
Roth.
と私常々この10年言ってまいりました。
Making a new race is really hard, and I have continually said throughout these 10 years that this will be the last one.
これでプレイヤー種族の追加を最
Fair.
後にしたいと考えておりますが、どうなるかは分かりません。皆さん次第です。
And I'd like to say this will be the last one, but perhaps I can't. It depends on you.
はい、 先ほどね冒頭ご紹介した新キャラクターウクラマトもロスがある女性です。ぜひですねウクラマト非常に魅力的なキャラクターになっていますのでご注目ください。
Of course, our Wuklamat that we introduced earlier is also a female Hrothgar, and she is really a lovely character, so look forward to meeting her.
さあ
Kind of looks like, at least based on how she looked and some of the ones in the like trailer thing they showed, it feels like you can maybe make them both more, I would say maybe more cutesy, the femme Hrothgars, but also make them more like stern, I guess, looking. I don't know how you would describe their look. In Final Fantasy XIV, the height ranges are offset, so max height females are smaller than max height males. You like a species that does the reverse. Yeah, that would be kind of nice. Like just going off female or based off aura, at least the males are like a max height female aura maybe goes like halfway up the chest of a maybe like, I feel like it's like aura is like 2/3 of the height of a male aura. It's like a big difference. Some other races have more inline stuff, like I believe Lalafels are the exact same height. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Lalafels are the only ones that like have the same height range. The humans or Hyur basically have more or less the same thing. I think the males have a slight increase. Viera, I think, is maybe also kind of the same thing. The same with Mikode. I think most of them have semi-equal things, but usually with the females having like slightly lower maximums than the males, I feel like. I wouldn't be surprised if you can probably find like some female Hyur that are taller than male Hyur, simply because they just one maxed out their height, one set it to the lowest or something. Could be. I'm not entirely sure though.
これでようやく、忘れ物も皆さんにお伝えしましたので基調講演も終わりにしていこうと思います。
Okay, and now with that, we are finally done with the keynote.
では最後こちらを紹介して締めにしたいと思います。
But at the very end, I would like to show you one more quick thing.
Ooh. The expansion art thing? Art piece?
はい、こちら吉田明子さん書き下ろしのアートとともに基調講演締めたいと思います。
So with this art from Yoshida Akiko, we will end the keynote. Thank you.
というわけで黄金のレガシーちゃんと出します。2024年に出します。発売となります。
We will, I assure you, released on trail in 2024.
発売日コレクターズエディション予約特典など情報はきちんとまとめて次の機会に大きくまた皆さんにアナウンスさせていただきます。もう少しだけお待ちください。
And we will get the information on when the pre-order date is, as well as all of the collectors' information and special bonuses as soon as we can.
こちらのアートね見たことないキャラクターがいたりもするんですがぜひそのあたりはねちょっとご想像してワクワクしていただけると嬉しいです。
There are several characters you won't have met before in this art, so maybe think about what kind of people they will turn out to be and get hype.
さあではケイツさん通訳ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you, Kate.
I think they're basically done with all that, yes. Besides from Lalafell, Min and Min height is always lower than the max height. Inside the species range is Krala Pictomancer in that image. I think she is. I think they basically have confirmed that Kral is the Pictomancer. Yep, she is. She has the Pictomancer stuff there. Yeah, I think that's probably it for the keynote, because it seemed like they were done. Can't wait for her to take a bigger part in the main story. Yeah, she's mainly just been like a supporting role. Like, she did have an okay amount of stuff she did during Shadowbringers and Endwalker, but it was more just still in the sort of support role. Like, she made sure that the Scions were okay during Shadowbringers. She helped with a few things during Endwalker, but yeah, I don't remember her doing a whole lot during Stormblood, like at all. I think the biggest amount of stuff she did during that was relating to Eureka, which is side content, and Heavensward she was like introduced during the end of part, I think it was, of the MSQ. Or maybe it wasn't part of the end. I can't remember quite when it was that Krile was introduced during Heavensward. It was either during the 3.0 MSQ, or maybe it was part of the patches. I can't remember. But yeah, she hasn't done a ton. She has done some stuff, but it's not been like major stuff. But it's gonna be nice to see her basically joining the Scions, like for real now. Yeah, I don't think there's a ton. I'm just gonna try and skip it a little bit. Okay, there's some other people from there. Yeah, it seems like that's the end of the panel. So let me just pull this stuff up again. So yeah, I've basically been just fishing in the meantime. I got the fishing pole upgraded to the Dragon Song fishing rod, and now I'm just trying to get 60 of these pebble shells. But yeah. Let's see, it's been like 2 hours and 50 minutes now. The stream has been going for, so I don't really know what I could potentially do that, like, do in an hour. That would be interesting to do. So maybe I'll just end the stream here, because not much else I can really do. I mean, the Scions are disbanded. Officially, they're disbanded, but technically not, from what my understanding is. I'm fairly sure it's going to stay disbanded till at least after Dawntrail. Yeah, like, officially they are disbanded, but they are technically not really. Like, that was basically what they said during the cutscene at the end of Endwalker, I believe. But yeah. Yes, there is one thing I wanted to make sure that I actually did, because I have kind of forgotten to do that for a few streams now. Let me actually just quickly turn on all this audio stuff again, and maybe mute that one there. One thing I have wanted to basically do is, I have a shit ton of these sanctuary material containers that I've been gathering slowly, and I think maybe I have another coffer that I can buy, or two, I'm not sure. But I am gonna quickly head to my Island Sanctuary, see if I can basically get another coffer. And then I'm thinking I'm just gonna like open all of them, because I've been meaning to do that for like months now. I think at one point, like maybe a month or two ago, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and after we're done with this Heaven on High attempt, I'll during a stream I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do some Heaven on High, and then I'm gonna open up these coffers, and then I forgot about it. And then I kept forgetting about it for like weeks. Alright, let's see here. Nope, it still hasn't sent out all of them. It needs to send out that one and that one. Okay. Yeah, I can't get that. Basically hoping that I could maybe have gotten some more tokens. Don't have any. Nope, don't have any. Just lying around. Okay. So yeah, kind of wondering, can I actually? If I can just have it there, then I don't need to open it constantly. And let's actually. I'm gonna quickly move some of the items here around a bit so that it's a bit more clear what it is that's from the coffers. Just because I don't know why, I just kind of want to do that. And let's move that one there, and then I can maybe grab like 2 things from in here and just that down, I guess. Yeah, everything that's in any of these 4 ones are basically just from that. So got some field crackers. I'm hoping for the mounts. There's 1 mount. Nice. And I can even sell that one if I wanted to. It's a outdoor housing item. A minion that I have already. Another minion. Thinking we can kind of just take a look at all these things once I've opened all of them. Was a tropic crackers and wild crackers, another wildflower bed, Raptor's command materia, another field cracker, a something planter, I can't really read that, road sparrow, waterproof cloth. We also got some sea cloth or flight of mobile garden stairs. Let's actually move around this so I can just instead of having to click it with the mouse, I can just use the keyboard to click. Kind of hoping for maybe, I think there's like 2 mounts you could get. Would be nice if I got all the mounts at least. Or at least hoping for some stuff that I can at least sell for a decent amount. As long as I believe you could at least get the mount from these coffers from like get the mount that you can also buy with the tokens just by turning them into some other tokens. I think you can get that mount from here. Could be wrong. Otter. Nice. Different dice as well. Okay, we're down to 38 coffers left. I think I've done this like once before with just an absolute ton of what would they call again, the coffers that you can get with grain company seals. I basically opened a bunch of those as well at one point. I think I'd gotten like, I think it was either, maybe it was like 99 or 100 of each or something like that. Getting a lot of those stairs. Hoping that some of these things can actually sell for something. If there's anything that I can sell, I'm hoping that it's something that I can that is an indoor item, because then I can at least put it in my house's indoor storage, because I don't believe I have a whole lot of outdoor storage. I know the material at least can sell for a decent chunk of gil. Okay, 10 left. Oh. Ah, that's a hit. Clever thing. Okay. A shaky shirt or something like that. Indigo cloth. Okay, another minion. The wildflower bed. And time for the last one. Materia. Alright. I wanna quickly check, is that the same mount? It is. Okay, so I got that mount at least. That's at least something. Then I don't need to worry about getting that one at least. What I do wonder about is what other items could you have gotten from this? Let's see, Island Sanctuary. Container. Sanctuary material container, that's what it was called. Okay, so we could have gotten a bombfish, we didn't get that. I didn't get any coconut water, which is a housing item. There's also a dwarf rabbit, didn't get that. I'm specifically curious about any mounts. Okay, so from what I can see, there is one mount that I didn't get from this, and that is the Island Perifool, which is basically one of the like I don't even know what to call it. The I think I actually have a similar mount in here somewhere. Yeah, it's basically similar to one of these sort of onion mandragora sort of things, but it's sort of a patchwork one. I could have gotten that one from there. But I think that's basically the only thing that was unique. Okay, there was also an island leaf headdress. Didn't get that one either. That was apparently also unique. Yeah, I think those were the only ones. Really? I think those were the maybe only unique ones, apart from also the hat thing we got here. What does this one look like? Okay. Minim Isle top hat, I think it's pronounced something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we have that. We have. Don't think any of these minions are ones that I don't already have. I have all of them. Okay, let's see. Sea cloth. That is used for Southern Sea Isle or Southern Seas shoes and those things. Okay. Waterproof cloth. That is, yep, rain boots and raincoat and hood. Indigo cloth. That is the indigo summer shirt and slops. Nice. I think those. If I were to craft those items, I think some of them would be a little bit profitable. I'm not entirely sure. I do wonder about that whistle, because it can be traded. What is the value of that one? Kinda want to quickly check on Universalis. What it says there. Okay, that one is 9.9 million gil. Apparently on like almost 10 million gil is the lowest one. It's like 10,000 off on the Zodiac. And apparently the cheapest one is on Phoenix, which is 9.7 million gil. That's up there. Do wonder though, what about the Perifool mount? What is the price of that one? Not as high actually. I'm surprised. The Perifool mount is only 1.1 million gil. That is actually not as high as I thought it was gonna be. Ah. Guess it's maybe because it's just a random one from the chests and people can just get a bunch of those. Whereas the other one, you either need to get it from the chest or you need to get a lot of these tokens, which costs 10 each, and you need, how many was it? 100? 200. And you get 70 of those tokens, basic or vouchers, essentially each, or 7 I think it is, each week. Because you basically get 70 of the tokens, basically. Which allows you to buy 7 of these, so that means if I could just pull up the calculator, 200 divided by 7, around 28.5 weeks of basically buying vouchers is what you would have to do in order to get that amount by simply buying it. But I don't need to. But yeah. Some things that I can maybe sell for stuff, but most of it I'm kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Was there anything else that I pulled out of my Chocobo saddlebag? I don't think there was. Let's sort that. And let's see how that mount looks. Okay, it's this one. It's basically just another one of those, just with flower petals that it spawns. And then it's just like, I don't even know what's called that. It's not rainbow colored, but like, it has some colors on it at least. And it just leaves a flower trail. Not a bad one. I just need to try and get the other one, which I guess is just gonna take a fuck ton of those coffers. I really hope that some of these housing items sell for something at least. But knowing my luck, they probably don't. The minions will sell at some point, but I don't really know for how much, because I think some of these are relatively common. I know that these field, tropic, sea, and isle crackers, they don't really sell at all. And from the looks of it, all these things are outdoor. Almost all of them are outdoor furnishings. There's only 2 items that I can save in my house's storage. Shit. I might be able to use this though for some glamours. I can see I can also dye it actually. Okay, so it's basically just the entire head and not the rim that goes around. You could definitely use this for some sort of glam. Might need to change up the hairstyle so it doesn't float, but yeah, not a bad one. Would have been nice with the flower or feather hat thing as well. Could have been nice. Apparently, oh, that one isn't from there after all. Curious though, what does the I'll leave headdress sell for? That one's fucking cheap. That is 68 gil over on Lich. I could just buy that if I wanted to. What about the top hat? $24 gil. Okay, they're not worth a lot. Yeah, they're not worth a whole lot of gil. That's very clear. But yeah, finally got around to opening up those. Now I just need to figure out how to clear my fucking inventory of all this shit. I'll have to just figure that out some other day, I guess. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna just end it, like, end the stream there, because I don't know really what else to do. I also need to kind of get ready, because I'm gonna be, I don't even know what to call it, part of a stream later that Nico is doing. If I remember correctly, it was a Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so basically Nico is doing a stream later at around 8 and like 5-ish hours. and part of that is gonna be some Lethal Company collab. I was put into a conversation. There's 117 fucking notifications from there. What the fuck? Jesus Christ! I had basically closed down Discord, so I wouldn't have like any things popping up or anything, and so I wouldn't get distracted if I opened up anything, so I could see that. Then I see that. What the shit? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I need to find someone to raid. Let's see who to raid. Let's see. There is potentially Lady Gamer Vixen. They're currently playing some Final Fantasy, and I guess she has done a keynote talk, had a conversation about that or something. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and rate her, possibly. She's also another Danish VTuber, so might as well. She's playing the same game after all as well. Let me also just jump over here. So, let's see. Next stream from me might end up being on Tuesday, but I'm not gonna guarantee that it's gonna be that, because I don't know. I don't really know, because I kind of need to get some stuff ready for exams here on I think it's Thursday that I have the verbal part of the exam, and we basically need to get some stuff or make some improvements on our exam. So yeah, and by improvements I basically just mean that we do things that we could basically just try and do some improvements on things that we had already done for the exam. They want us basically just try and see up to the next, or the verbal part of the exam, that we basically just try and make some improvements. I still need to get my stuff done for that. It shouldn't take more than a day, I think. The question is just if I actually get around to actually doing it. That's the thing. But, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try and see at least if I can get a stream done on Tuesday. I don't know what's gonna be. I'm thinking maybe Hollow Knight. Just because I think I can maybe get the last few endings and get just stuff done, essentially. But I'm not entirely sure yet. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's the plan at least for now. So I guess I'll just go ahead and raid Lady Gamer Vixen. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. And yeah, see ya.